Received an emergency transmission from Hadawi, a Havoc nuclear engineer. Patching through.
This is AC-3 facility. Reactor 2 has been sabotaged. Havoc internal forces can't handle this threat anymore. You're all I've got left.
Running blind on intel for the AL. This region is at high risk of a nuclear incident. Keep the following in mind. Shoot, loot, then time to scoop.
The signal is clear. Take action. It's okay here. Not too cold.
Experiment 66 is projected to conclude in T-minus 3 hours. All units submit safety risk assessments on schedule.
I've got a reading.
No hazmat suits? Raise them!
Let's make it quick.
Enjoy the bomb!
So eager to die. Excellent.
I don't know what's happening, but reactor output is still climbing. And security thinks I'm behind this. They're coming for me. GTI, move it, now!
Key verified. Access granted. Hostile signal detected. Lethal action authorized.
Damn it! Someone take control of this piece of junk!
Entering manual mode. Executing command.
Those bastards in fusion research won't authorize shutdown because of their experiment timeline. I know better than anyone how important this research is. Hold this position. Once I finish calibration, use that console to insert the control rods immediately. Data set. Follow me. I know somewhere the signal can get through.
Steam explosion at reactor 2. Incident level confirmed. Estimated contamination radius.
Careful! Don't fall! We're outside the signal blackout zone. Upload the data package to Skynet immediately. Encryption keys in the archive. Just send it!
Critical alert. Reactor power output has critically exceeded safety threshold. Core meltdown imminent. All personnel evacuate immediately. Priority alert. Hydrogen explosion at reactor 2. Incident level confirmed. INTS scale 7. Major accident. All personnel evacuate beyond contamination zone immediately. Estimated spread radius 3.7 kilometers. Correction, 9.2 kilometers. Correction, 24.9 kilometers. Correction, 45.3 kilometers. Correction, 79.8 kilometers.
My hands are sweating. All right. Hi, Operator. I'm Gabriel Mercier, codename N2. Since we'll be fighting side by side, allow me to properly introduce myself. As the codename suggests, my combat style leans towards cryogenic suppression. My frost launcher paired with a cryo flask can quickly force enemies into a frost state, ensuring they pose no threat to us. If enemy positions are unknown, the homing stun grenade can precisely mark them as well. Right now, I'm in the middle of a critical operation. one where failure is not an option. I hope this mission can make up for some of my past mistakes, even if just a little. Mission target zone, AZ-3, Asara's only source of nuclear power. The plant's power output is spiking abnormally. This time, I won't let it happen again. An emergency shutdown is our only chance, but the risk is extreme. We not only have to breach Habit's heavy defenses, we have to face lethal radiation head-on. Some containers within AZ-3 have already been contaminated by radiation. You can follow distinctive sounds to locate them, but keep a close eye on your own radiation levels. Radiation is divided into 4 levels, each causing different effects. Accumulated radiation can be cleared by leaving the contaminated zone and using decon chambers or mobile decon units. During the incident, some personnel lost their access keys. We can use these keys to infiltrate the classified zones and gather intel and supplies.
Key verified. Access granted. AZ-3 key detected.
That's not all. Severe leaks have occurred across multiple sections of the plant. You can choose to endure radiation exposure and enter these zones for high-value supplies and rare data, or stay clear. The choice is yours. Havoc has deployed a large number of purification soldiers at AZ-3. Once your position is exposed, heavy purifiers will apply debuffs like corrosion and slow movement, but attacking the weak spot on their back can neutralize them quickly. An even tougher threat comes from the relink agents. H-1000 personally leads H-47, H-800, and other agents to guard the facility. All of them connected through Skynet. They're extremely persistent. Stay on maximum alert. One final thing. If we do manage to shut down all the nuclear facilities, something unexpected might happen.
Disabling attention. All AZ-3 terminals disabled.
Of course, the nuclear plant has new collectibles too. Over in Warfare, things are heating up. The flames of war have reached the weathered stone walls of the Colosseum. This 1,000-year-old city is sliding toward ruination. We've got new weapons. The RM-277 assault rifle excels at sustained suppressive fire, most effective from medium to long range. The SVCH marksman rifle is capable of taking down enemies in one shot at long range. There are also some bonus events coming up. Play Ole 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 to earn points and exchange them for sports-themed rewards and exclusive avatars. The Meltdown Season Pass includes various tactical supplies, including a new outfit for Tempest. The new season's Mandelbricks can yield the AKM assault rifle. Astromancy skin. Not bad. Opening Turbricks gives you a chance at the Law of Time series collectible charms. Good luck. A new melee weapon, Elegant, the exclusive weapon of the Abyss Shark Reese. Pretty cool. Oh, and don't forget, the Rainbow Six Siege crossover is launching soon too. 3 new operator skins. Black Ice weapon skins and special collectibles. Now that's something. Covers the main updates for the Meltdown season. Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up.
Hi everyone, I'm William, the art director of Delta Force. As many of you may already seen, Delta Force is launching a collaboration with Rainbow Six Siege in our next season. Since launch, we've seen a lot of passion and discussion from our community around the tactical shooter gameplay. And whenever players talk about the genre, Rainbow Six Siege is one of the names that come up most often. So, we reach out to Ubisoft.
Bonjour, je suis Émilie Besson, directrice de la réalisation sur Rainbow Six Siege. Oui, Siege a toujours été défini par son gameplay tactique. le travail en équipe et aussi la variété des opérateurs que les joueurs ont appris à connaître et reconnaître au fil des années. Ces collaborations nous donnent l'occasion en fait d'amener les éléments emblématiques de Siege dans un nouvel univers tout en restant fidèles à ce qui les rend uniques.
In this collaboration, we focus on two things: operators and the Rainbow Six Siege's iconic visual legacy. We selected 3 operators pairings who share the same combat philosophy.
I'll be there you need me.
말보다는 행동이지.
Call if you need a hand.
For classic Siege elements, we choose to honor Black Ice, the Drone, and the Alpha Pack.
Ce qui était essentiel pour nous de préserver dans la collaboration, c'était l'identité, l'authenticité de nos personnages. C'est ce qui les rend uniques. On a travaillé main dans la main avec l'équipe de Delta Force pour s'assurer que l'authenticité de Siege, l'identité de Siege s'intègre naturellement dans leur jeu.
Both games share a realistic art direction, and finding distinct recognition within that shared aesthetic was actually the harder challenge. We started by preserving the core silhouette and the color framework of Siege operators. Doc and Motin's iconic deep navy uniforms, Vigil's signature custom-fitted gear, these stay true. At the same time, within the finer details, we evolve in Delta Force identity. They wear patches from both teams. Motin carries Cineva's badge. Doc has medical kits at his side. To faithfully recreate Black Ice, we focused our material work on internal ice fracture patterns to capture the distinctive texture and a cold, austere feel of original.
Oui, en effet, Black Ice résonne énormément avec notre communauté. C'est une cosmétique d'armes qui a énormément plu à nos joueurs. Et l'équipe de Delta Force a fait vraiment un travail incroyable pour la recréation dans leur jeu de cette cosmétique, avec un souci du détail extrêmement gratifiant.
We employed a dual-layer material system combined with subsurface scattering lighting model. Using camera vectors and a depth texture to offset UV calculations, we achieved effect of refractor patterns appearing to exist deep inside ice.
Et ce qu'on a apprécié et ce qui nous a impressionné, c'est le travail de recherche de Delta Force. À quel point ils ont été soucieux du détail pour conserver nos opérateurs dans leur jeu, qui s'intègrent vraiment comme naturellement dans leur univers.
Beyond the content itself, we want as many players as possible to access and experience this collaboration. By completing in-game missions during the season, you can unlock these rewards for free. One more thing, in the new operations map, we've prepared something special for you. You will find a surprise in the maps that are meant just for you. Once the crossover goes live, go find them. Once more, onto the bridge.
Dear friends, once more.
For some, success is measured by bodies in bags. Maybe that suits them. But to me, it's measured in hearts that keep beating. You with me?
Operations. It all comes down to 3 simple rules. Search, fight, extract. Search decides how much loot you walk away with. Fight. Not every encounter needs to end in a shootout. You just need to clear whatever's standing between you and your treasure. Extract. That's the magic moment that turns everything in your pack into yours to keep. 3 phases, all connected. Miss one and the whole run falls apart. Gear up before you head out. The better you're geared, the harder you hit and the more you can carry. But the more you lose if you go down. Go in cheap and dying won't sting as much, but you'll miss out on those juicy, high-value supply zones. Gear up and go big, or go light and gamble. Your call. Once you're in the match, forget everything else. Loot, loot, and loot some more. Documents on desks, parts and cabinets, bird nests by the roadside, trash cans tucked in corners early on. Grab everything you can get your hands on. Priority targets, safes, and air cargo containers. Snag one high-value item, and boom! You've already covered your entry cost. Now, the real question, keep pushing your luck or cash out while you're ahead. Your pack's stuffed with goodies and you're ready to extract. Then, gunfire erupts ahead. What now? Charge in, slip past unseen, or hang back and let them wear each other down before you swoop in. Just remember, die and you lose everything in your backpack except what's safely tucked away in your safe box. You choose to slip away quietly. Smart move! Your pockets are already bursting, but you can't shake that nagging sound of footsteps nearby. Even distant gunfire's enough to send your heart racing. You finally reach the extraction point. The countdown starts. Hold your nerve, don't blow it with 2 seconds left. Extracted. That weight you've been carrying the whole run finally lifts off your shoulders. Sweet relief. Then, there's the ultimate wild card. You stumble on a mandel brick. This thing's worth a small fortune, but the second you pick it up, every player on the map knows exactly where you are. Everyone's coming for you. You go from treasure hunter to hunted in the blink of an eye. Your only goal now? Stay alive long enough to decode it and cash in big. Whatever path you choose, it only counts if you make it out alive. That's operations for you. Every extraction is a story worth telling. Go make yours.
The wait is over. The battle lines are drawn. The stage is set for absolute dominance. Welcome to the road to glory. Only the elite remains to fight for the championship title. Across the Americas, hundreds fought, but only 6 teams survived. Meet the Titans who carved their path to the finals. Evil Geniuses. Dominant. Unstoppable. Evil Geniuses storm through the group stage, proving they are the apex predators of the region. Spacestation Gaming. Fearless and resilient. Spacestation Gaming fought through every obstacle, earning their direct ticket to the ultimate showdown. FaZe Clan. Battling through the high-stakes survival stage, they proved their resilience when everything was on the line. NTMR. Refusing to back down, they clawed their way out of the gauntlet and earned their spot among the elite. Team Liquid. With ice in their veins, Team Liquid delivered under pressure to secure a shot at the championship trophy. W Key Forever. Seizing their last chance at redemption, they complete the Americas roster and are ready to shock the world. 6 elite squads. Every team fights for a share of the prize pool, but only the top 3 will claim their tickets to Season 2. Who will rise to glory? Tune in live for the Americas Finals.
You got me. Here I am. Good morning. Hey, wherever you are in the world, welcome into the Delta Force Rise Series America's Finals. We're here. We finally made it. This is the last shot. This is it. The final lobby. 5 weeks of competition. Americas, you've done it. And we've got our 6 teams. Goj, Tiff, really excited to kick things off today. Tiff, how the heck you feeling?
Look, I'm beyond amped. After EMEA's finals earlier today, I have no idea how Americas is going to go, but we have such a stacked lobby for those of you that are watching. So supporting, make sure you give everyone all your energy, and let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Earlier today, EMEA Finals was so much fun. Tiff and I casted over that, and a crazy win by Dark Entities. Today, though, in Americas, you never know what could happen. Let's take a look back on how this entire 5-week series all went down.
Snows runs out of ammo where he gets one knock. This is a full sin on the back of the Geneva operator.
You seem to mean business moving up into time prison. I've come to push, and that is it. Hell Snows.
Oh, wait, it's FX. They don't have a Tempest. It's just about gunning down your opponent. Too easy. Still on brick. Kills all holding the long angle. The wound of all their opponents. Nobody can stop Spacestation Gaming.
Oh, again, another absolutely impressive performance. The airdrop thorn. We do see some
damage in the entire group stage for a reason. He's got 1, he's got 2, and it's not. It's all of them. He doesn't need any help. End up not being needed. Nobody moved fast enough. Little Nightmare lights them all up.
Really shifting the position of the engagement, the altercation going to a whole different level. But look at this though.
Way. FX is putting the pressure on. They're gonna wipe Livia. Funny enough, again, New Age FX. They're the only team playing aggressive. One pushes up. Articuno looking with Tomioso. He's gonna mantle though. A mistake. He's gotta be so frustrated about that mantle. And Articuno just chows. And you see him screaming into the push for this. 10 seconds on the clock. Crowd's gonna get right under the decoding station, so Loud's gonna have to try to barrel stuff him. And he gets it, but WK Keeper ever get the steal in time? He can't get there in time. Ult runs out of time. 14 seconds. It's going to have to be precision. They can wipe them all. You got to wipe the entire team from the top ropes. Precision with the perfect angle.
2 seconds.
The other running away. You got to go for the steal. Can he jump in time? 0 seconds, and it lands. Team Liquid keep the game alive.
I've got chills. I'm telling you, this is so cool to look back on. And of course, we have to talk about how all these teams got here. You saw the crazy highlights. Let's get down to the brass tacks. We've got Evil Geniuses in Space Station Gaming, who frankly were the top 2 teams by a large margin through group stages. A couple other teams close by, but these 2 teams were the most dominant, the most wins, the most bricks, and Evil Geniuses had the most kills by a large margin, 149 kills throughout the course of the group stages, Tiff. These 2 teams are the 2 to watch out for today, but of course, 4 other teams joining them, and you never know what could happen.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about Evil Geniuses, they're so insane. We saw them get 31 kills in 2 different match days back to back. So absolutely disgusting. But when you look at kind of what happened in our Survivor matches, this is where things really started to heat up. Now, FaZe Clan, who were kind of on this massive come up, they pick up a team inside of Delta Force Rise Series 1, and next thing you know, basically, they just keep grinding. The fact that they double brick in our Survivor match day 1, and Nightmare, who had kind of a roller coaster of a season, but is absolutely nasty. They've had such stalwarts of the scene. You've got like equal plays on that roster. They snake into the second. The issue with this is Team Liquid, who had a banger match, get a brick and a massive amount of squad points. They fall to 3rd because we go the distance. But Survivor match day 2, Hodsick and the boys over at Team Liquid come back swinging. They bring in their sub, who absolutely goes massive alongside Mendo and Hodsick. They hit the brick, but we go to like 7 games, bro. The fact that we have 4 different teams with Mandelbricks just goes to show you how incredibly competitive America's was. Unfortunately for Team Nadeshot and Madwin, those were 2 teams that came in on the second day of Survival Series, and they could only play 1 match day to try and make it into the finals. And after a strong performance from Team Nadeshot, they just couldn't get themselves a brick. So here we are as we look at the bracket, guys. It's been a dang journey. But now that the finals are here, something cool to note is the top 3 teams today will proceed to season 2. And of course, there's like money on the line or something. That's kind of important. Plus, like, you know, bragging rights.
Ton of cash, bragging rights to be the champion. But yes, top 3 is one of our metrics for success, as the top 3 teams will go straight to season 2. We got to take a look back on some of the top slayers. And I do want to put this in perspective. We see a team like Team Liquid play the maximum amount of matches. And so you find Mendo and even Boy, who didn't even play last match, their substitute did, Precision. You find them in top 5 on a lot of these. However, the fact that you see Loco in the top 5 of many of these, Articuno in 4th overall on these, they play 2 less matches than the rest of these competitors. And so that's how dominant they were in the group stages. It really shows you how unbelievable their stats were. Loco still holding on to top damage dealer throughout the course of the group stages, and then the final Survivor stages, even though they didn't play those Survivor stages. But you do see Mendo here as well. Socio Legend, Leviathan, probably the top statistical team outside of the teams that made it to the finals. They just missed the mark as well. So fun to look back on. Spacestation Gaming, they were leading the pack for most of the beginning of the group stages, and Killzall was at the top of just about every single leaderboard. And unfortunately, they slowed down, but they were able to rally back towards the end, and they were one of the 2 teams to make it through the group stages. So a lot of fun looking at these stats, a lot of fun looking at these players, and so much more to talk about. But maybe you missed it. Maybe you're just tuning in for the finals. Championship Sunday is here, and you're like, how did all these teams get here? How does it all work? Let's take a look back on how the Delta Force Rise series works in particular.
Delta Force. 1 game, 2 regions, 1 shot at glory. This is the complete guide to Delta Force Rise Series EMEA and Americas Season 1. Everything you need to know, from the very first match to the last squad standing. The path is the same in both regions. It starts with the open qualifiers, open to any team that wants to compete. The best push through to the group stage, where the top 2 advance directly to the finals, bottom 2 eliminated, and the rest battle through the Survivor stage to earn their spot. From the open qualifiers, 12 teams have fought their way into the season, and only 1 will lift the trophy. The group stage runs for 4 weeks, with matches every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The 12 teams are split into 4 groups, A, B, C, and D. 3 teams per group. Each broadcast day, 2 groups go head-to-head in a cross-group match. Every match is a 7-round format. 6 teams competing in the same lobby simultaneously, across up to 7 rounds on maps like Zero Dam, Brakkesh, Tide Prison, and Space City. Teams earn squad points by scoring eliminations and accumulating in-game total assets. And on brick rounds, they compete to collect and decode Mandel bricks, artifacts that decide the round winner. Decode 2 Mandel bricks in a match and the victory is locked in, no matter what round you're on. After 12 match days, the group stage standings are final. Places 1 to 2 go straight to the finals. Places 3 to 8 enter Survivor Stage Day 1. Places 9 to 10 drop into Survivor Stage Day 2. Places 11 to 12 are eliminated. The Survivor Stage is where the bracket narrows fast. Day 1 brings those 6 teams together for one 7-round match. The top 2 advance directly to the finals. Places 3 to 6 get one more shot. Day 2 mixes the 4 survivors from Day 1 with the 2 teams ranked 9th and 10th from the group stage. Again, 6 teams, one 7-round match. Top 2 go to the finals. Everyone else is out. 6 teams, 1 day, 1 lobby, 1 match. This is the finals, the ultimate showdown of the season. 2 teams earned it through the group stage. 2 more survived Day 1. The last 2 came through Day 2. Every team deserves to be there. The top 3 finishers earn an invitation to Season 2. Welcome to Delta Force Rise Series EMEA and America's Season 1. Loot, shoot, extract.
Well, there you have it. The journey has been arduous, but here we are, final match day, and the same match rules as always. To walk you through it quickly, folks, everybody going to be loading in with 1.5 million Technicalloy to kick things off so they can buy their loadouts. If you die, you lose your gear, just like public lobbies. We are 1 season behind playing Season Echo here in the tourney scene, so with that, you're not going to have N2, but you will have Morse. Today is all about getting Mantle Bricks. If you want to win today, you got to get 2 Mantle Bricks, hopefully, or we go 7 rounds, and the leaderboard's ranked by Mantle Bricks and then by squad points. There's a total of 7 rounds maximum, but we could end in 4. The first team to capture 2 Mantle Bricks ends the competition right then and there. The earliest that could happen is on round 4 because there's a Mantle Brick on round 2, and then 4 and beyond. So we do have 2 eco rounds on round 1 and 3. Those have airdrops and other things to play for, but really just getting your money up to play for those bricks on future rounds. Another big rule, of course, is that our operators can only be used 2 times by each team in total through the first 6 rounds. On round 7, everything resets and you have 2 operators available again per operator you have out there. So for instance, if you run double Nox on Tide Prison, you can't run Nox ever again. Okay, you all know how this works. Now, of course, yes, they have 1.5 million Technicalloy, but also they've got a 3x3 safe box. This is really where you could actually put a lot of the reds that you find on the map. Not a lot of people extracting these days, namely because eliminations are so important. Look at the bottom of your screen. You want to get your money up? Go get eliminations. Every kill is 800,000 Technicalloy on the map. You get a team wipe, that's 2.4 million, and therefore it is extremely valuable to get those kills. Now, if you don't get any kills and you don't extract, for instance, you're still going to get 700k per round, so you'll see some scores trickle up even if teams are really struggling, just to make sure they can even buy loadout weapons and buy some purple gear or whatever they need to play. If you decode Mantle Bricks, you can earn some extra cash, and also if you don't extract multiple times in a row, which happens often, you'll get a little bit extra as well, just to make sure you can still buy all the things you need. So important rules here, but Mantle Bricks are the most important piece of the puzzle, and therefore we have a ton of very specific rules about the Mantle Bricks. For instance, once the Mantle Brick spawns into the map, which happens very quickly after the map starts, there's a 5-minute timer when a brick leaves its spawn until it has to be put into a decoding station. It can lay on the ground, it can go in the water, it could go between players. There's a bunch of different things that could happen with it, but once 5 minutes is done, it will teleport from wherever it is back to its spawn. If the Mantle Brick gets put into a decoding station, though, it will never leave that decoding station. A 4-minute timer will start every time it is stolen by intercepting it or interacting with it for 2.5 seconds, as you can see right there. You then steal it. That timer resets back to 4 minus 30 seconds, and that 30 seconds stacks for every single steal that has gone on. So it starts at 4, the next time will go to 3.5, then 3, then 2.5, and so on and so forth. The minimum amount of time, though, that it can go to is 90 seconds, 1:30. So if the game clock's 1:20, it gets stolen. Guess what? Nobody's getting the brick because you won't have enough time. Maybe you can't steal it in time. Maybe you're running out of time, but you can slay out and kill the team that is currently decoding it. guess what? That will pause the timer. That happens very often as well. So a lot going on here, but hopefully that all made sense. Biggest thing to remember is that the mana bricks are the most important piece of the puzzle. Feel free to ask questions. But Tiff, we got other things you got to play for. Squad points.
I mean, yeah, definitely. This is going to be really important. We've seen tiebreakers come down to this. So guys, keep in mind. And basically it's comprised of these two components, your kill points and supply points. Well, how do you get kill points? Guys, it's rather see, it's so easy. Each kill equals 1 point. For your supply points, it's a little bit different. Every 2 mil in total stash assets is going to earn you 1 point. And since those points are rounded down, if you get like 3.9 mil, it's going to round down to 2. So you'll only get 1 point. So you need to hit 2, 4, 6, 8. Every threshold will unlock a new point. You add them together, you get your squad points. We'll break it down once you see the leaderboard. Now here's the big deal. I mentioned some cash earlier, right? And this is where things get fun. I love handing out money. It's not me personally. Thank you, Delta Force, for doing this for our Delta Force Rise series. First place today, after 4 grueling weeks of group stages and into the 5th week of Survivor, $60K on the line for the team who places in first throughout our 7-round series. It's going to trickle down, 2nd and 3rd place, taking home the large portion of that cash. The cool thing about this is if you're the MVP standing at the end of the day, you're going to have an extra $3,000 in your pocket. That dynamic kill bonus is $50 per kill, going to the extra bonus towards your team as well. And of course, since it's finals, we did have 6 other teams throughout the group stages who have already gotten their allotted amount. You can see it here. Leviathan, $5,000. FX, 5K as well. Team Nadeshot and Mad Win getting $2,500, and BTH and Liquid's going to grab $1,000. But it's all about that left-hand column. If you're playing today, at minimum, you're getting 10K.
Woo. Yeah, a lot of money on the line today. Our lobby will be on the left side of that pricing graphic no matter what. Here's a look back, though, on everything that's happened throughout the course of the last 5 weeks, folks. We saw wins from a bunch of different teams across the board, but the biggest winners, you can see them. Evil Geniuses, 3 different wins. Spacestation Gaming, several wins as well, to find ourselves in the final lobby. Here are our 6 teams one more time. We'll go through each of them and talk about the players as well. The 2 big things to play for: be the champions for 60K and be top 3 today to make it straight to season 2. Let's talk about the top dogs, though. This is the top seed. This is the top team. They topped every single chart. Evil Geniuses. Loco in particular has been a star player for this roster, topping most of the charts individually, having the most kills by a country mile, even with 2 less matches played. Ridiculous stuff, but the entire roster is deadly. Watch out for Moo Articuno and Loco, all right? Get ready for Evil Geniuses. Talk to me about FaZe, though.
I mean, look, FaZe is such a big organization. So when you hear them being involved in Delta Force, they're going to pick up the Brazilians, right? Sudoka, the whole crew here. And they started out rather slow. 3 Mandel bricks total throughout the group stage standings. But you know what they do? They get a double brick in Survivor Day 1 to lock in their chances to compete here in the finals. So moving up from mid-pack to show that they are a force to be reckoned with. Now, here's the deal, Goj. There was one thing I heard about Delta Force Rise series in the Americas, and it was always Space Station. All right. The only time they don't perform well was when I was working Americas, which is disgusting. So if I'm a curse, I'm sorry, Space Station. But you guys have been phenomenal. 8 total Mandel bricks throughout the group stages, 156 kills. Second to only Team Liquid and Evil Geniuses, and that doesn't work. That means 3rd. So go to Nightmare for you, Goj, because my math doesn't work.
Yeah, well, listen, Spacestation Gaming was one of the top dogs, but Nightmare came online very late in the group stages and almost upset them. They worked their way all the way to 3rd place overall. We've had multiple interactions and interviews with Farmer Lucas, and everything we're hearing is that, hey, we are moving flawlessly. We're tweaking all the small things that we need to tweak, and every single day we're getting better and better, and that is scary for the rest of the lobby. Watch out for Nightmare today. They're going to make some big waves. There's no question about it. Now, Team Liquid, a totally different story. They were pretty slay-heavy early in the group stage. They had a pretty decent performance throughout most of the groups, ended up top 5, but they had an interesting play style. They didn't find themselves getting a lot of bricks, only found 4 throughout the group stages, and they actually worked all the way through all the group stages and Survivor stages until it was their last chance. They make a roster swap. Boy had a great season. Precision comes in as their sub, and he's match MVP when they win it all in Survivor Stage 2. So definitely a team to watch out for. They've got a lot of momentum right now. And then, of course, W Key Forever had a great interview with Crab. This is a team that's it's been hot and cold. It really depends on the type of team we get. I think they're going to have to adapt to a pretty objective-based lobby. Every single one of these teams like to play for Mana Bricks, and WK Forever hasn't really been a team that's gone for a lot of them, but they have found their way to a lot of kills. They can keep up in the slaying department. Big question is if they can get a brick today, Tiff.
I mean, that is a huge question. And chat, you're so allowed to be biased if you're biased for WK Forever. I will support you in that endeavor. After speaking to Crab in our interview just yesterday, one of the most humble players, we were like, what do you have to say for the rest of the people cheering everyone on tomorrow in the finals? And homie goes, good luck, have fun to everyone. Just so positive. But I love chaos, and usually that's what happens with the finals. And as we look through our match lineups, there you guys have it. Our 6 teams that are going to be duking it out for the potential of a 60K first place prize today. Our map rotation, you know it, you love it. It's been the same since group stages and survivor stage. But we kick things off on Zero Dam. One of our 2 eco rounds, you're going to have airdrops. Those are going to come with the high-valued caliber weapons, the snipers, whether you get the M82 or the OM, and then you'll get some golds and reds out of the second. Of course, the operators, the world is whatever you want to pick. Typically in Americas, we will witness D-Wolf, Uluru, Raptor. Sometimes people get incredibly cheeky and like to make changes. Over in EMEA today, people were bringing in Lunas. I don't expect that to happen here in Americas, but you never know because it is the finals.
I love that breakdown, Tiff. You never know what could happen. And a quick look at our players. Some haven't played in a little while, at least not on mainstream. And some just came from a match yesterday where they barely scraped their way into this lobby. But at the end of the day, with this format, anybody, and I mean anybody, can win it all. Doesn't matter if you think you're the best. It doesn't matter if you know you're the best. You've got to prove it here on main stage. I'm seeing some heavy hitters in the space. I'm seeing some. He's been casting over equal plays for 2 years. 2/3 of Spacestation Gaming, I casted over on LAN in a global competition where they got 2nd overall. And then I'm seeing some new faces as well, continuing to prove that they can compete with the best of the best. This is anybody's game. And it's about to start right here. Will the Beast take it all? Will Evil Geniuses continue to reign supreme? Or will somebody from the bottom of the seeds turn an upset into an idyllic championship moment? So excited for Zero Dam. This is the litmus test of everything, folks. And as a reminder, just for being here, we're going to give you some rewards, folks. 35 total redemptions on this one. If you don't have the Neko Mimi spray paint, you better type quickly. It's your turn to earn it on finals day, I believe in your luck today that you can type it in faster than everybody else out there. 35 total redemptions redeemed in-game or at the official website. As we kick off America's Finals. Championship Sunday is here. This is the last match of Season 1. Buckle up. I'm hoping for a banger. Tiff, let's jump straight into Zero Dam.
And getting into it, we shall. Okay, here's the deal, guys. With our Tier 1 spawns, you're going to have Team Liquid and FaZe immediately running towards admin. Mendo's going to dive and go through some different areas and tunnel it out. 4 evil geniuses we see. They're bringing in Toxic, Raptor, and Nox, which is great. We love Raptor. It's so vital on Zero Dam. You immediately put the drone up into the sky, and you can kind of get the lay of land where people are spawning. EG, up towards that barracks area, have already rotated down to keep eyes on Cement Plant, in which you can see Spacestation Gaming is already there. Nightmare does spawn in Major Substation with WK Forever, Visitor Center. Now, I'm not sure if Nightmare and WK Forever will look to push into each other. Sometimes that happens, but we might see a reserved nature here just because it's finals.
It does look like Team Liquid, who's going to be in the blue, do pick up Saeed, so they'll have gold armor for a potential engagement. Funny enough, I think the fight that everybody wants to see is actually already kicking off. We do need to talk operator comps, everybody bringing in purple and blues. But look at Cement Plant. Evil Geniuses, a different play than I've seen from them in the past. They rotate down from, I believe, barracks and wrap over to Cement Plant to play for Spacestation Gaming. 2 of the top dogs already in an engagement from distance. Nice little pull there from Team Liquid. So a potential fight here in admin and a potential fight around Cement Plant. We'll see which one kicks off first.
Ooh, a couple reds going for Team Liquid there. Saw a bag of coffee get picked up earlier as well. So reds to be had. In EMEA this morning, we had Alliance that picked up the craziest reds all day.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Big moves for them. Didn't get any bricks though, but it still brought them to a 3rd place overall. You guys were there?
Oh,
great. If not,
gosh.
it's equal that's getting the luck here today. 1.4 mil. That thing's kind of big though.
Yeah, I mean, still, though, we're finding nice loot already. We're picking up servers on main. My goodness, 1.4 mil there. Kick things off for Nightmare. Finding that in Substation. All right. Respect. Other than that, the big question is who fights first. I say this every single time. I can't stop now. It's the finals day. Zero Dam, best way to get your eco up on an economy round is to kill people. Go get your eliminations. I'm ready for it.
I'm just ready for Lucas to start scouting. And honestly, if we get another Nightmare interview and Lucas gets up here, bro's going to be one of the most analytical brains you see all day. There's only one person that I compare him to, and he's in a different title. This man is like a guy named Sweet Dreams. If you know him, you'll know exactly what I mean. If you don't, I don't know what to say.
Fair enough. I mean, he has been extremely analytical and a great interview just because he is able to break down so much of their strategy and other team strategy with this very unique format. So
just lays it out. He's like, this is what it is. This is why we're doing it. And it's like just all out there. So knowing that they have brought such an insane strategy to the table, I really hope it pays off for Nightmare. Elsewhere, Spacestation Gaming, I haven't been able to see too much gameplay of them recently, but you can see with the Raptor, they're going to set their sights on neighboring team. Evil Geniuses has been lurking towards the outside. You can see Loco, very heavy in the frags, already looking for angles if he can. Does get sought out by top cement plant.
Yeah, I mean, end of the day, this is a fight that'll take a very long time. I can't imagine either of these two teams full sending, so we do need to take a look elsewhere and just check on the rest of the teams. You can see Team Liquid, Hotsick is rocking the gold, and they're actually moving this direction after hitting some shots, working their way through barracks, maybe down to cement plant for a fight. Look at the bottom right-hand corner of the map, though. WK Forever and Nightmare are about to fight over this first airdrop. This airdrop carries that high-caliber weapon. Definitely worth playing for. The second one, maybe not so much. FaZe still up alone in admin, doing their thing over by the garage.
And this is a big deal because anytime you think about whether you're getting the OM or the M82, Nightmare wants it. They want to get it in the hands of equal plays because he's going to open up a lot of those engagements and find value with it. If they get an airdrop with it, it's 99% of the chance it's going in the hands of equal. We'll talk about that later because we still have about 35 seconds before it hits the ground. For Team Liquid, still kind of moving their way out onto the western side of things, but Smokester down and a D-Wolf forward thanks to the hands of DW. He has to make sure we've got the ult in back pocket and WQ Forever. We were talking about them. Can Crab hold on, make it through Survivor Match Day 2,
Nice.
and we break down equal.
Great angle there for Crab over the top. DW may be missing some comms, but they do trade one back and forth. Farmer Lucas steps up and makes a big play for the trade. C-Bot's down. One on the left, though. Watch out for Peaky over the top. Great shot. And a great angle. They didn't know he had wrapped all the way around. So it's going to be down to DW to be the hero in a 1v2, and he's going for it. As a D-Wolf, looking for an angle, finds one, and they line him up. Nightmare cut down early. If you put that one up for debate, if you put that one up for channel points in chat, who you thought would win, I think most people would pick Nightmare, but WK Forever outplay them in a perfect moment. Not just outshoot, outplay. A great angle with one inside of the wall, able to hop up and find Lucas to make it a 2v1.
They
really
just
well done.
broke them down so nicely based on positioning and not giving up space. And when you think of Deathwing, the only thing he has as the D-Wolf is he pushes forward, right? And I start to get a little worried, but when you're watching the back on that fence line, that call out should have been there for Peaky. Let's see what he gets. Now, making sure that we get that ammo, we get that weapon, and hopefully on Zero Dam can find some nice kills with it.
Yeah, every time you pull this airdrop, it's either M82 or OM with 5 shots. Each round is 100,000, by the way. And that server does not fit in the safe box, so WK Forever are able to grab that.
Yeah, they took it from Nightmare.
Yeah, I want to say that's a 4x3. That thing is gigantic, so it is a lot of value, definitely worth carrying, but no safe box means it is up for grabs. Nightmare is down.
Here we have, you can see WK Forever up ahead. FaZe on the rotation, and they knew the airdrop landed over here. Possibly on their rotate down when they decided, man, we'll go look for it. Could have heard some shots. They're going to be a little more cautious as we rotate throughout.
One team down early in Zero Dam. FaZe down here looking for a piece of the action like you were talking about, Tiff. The second airdrop not worth playing for necessarily unless you get it for free, but we're not exactly sure where it's going to land anyways. There's a couple different spots it could. North, south, east, west. But for now, looking across the map, and these two teams are the closest by far. FaZe trying to sneak up on this one while WK Forever finishing looting these boxes. But this is why every team usually runs a Raptor. So valuable. Checking these wide open spaces. Should get a spot here on FaZe if they look to the right. Which they may not. They may be looking to rotate towards substation. Which in turn would actually be towards Space Station as well. And we'll see if that's the way they move. And if they do that, and Bird on cooldown, there's a chance FaZe could catch them unaware.
Well, with FaZe, they have that Alluru, Raptor, D-Wolf, so they could also scout out up ahead. But if they go scouting with their own drone, the issue with that is it's going to give that information away. And WK Forever does have a Nox, and if the ult's in the back pocket, they could use Silent Assault and get a little crazy. Elsewhere, back to Evil Geniuses, who have kind of swapped places. Spacestation Gaming have rotated mid-map, and Evil Geniuses have moved into Cement Plant.
Yeah, and Evil Geniuses, they get a kind of a power position being on high ground here. Basically, if you get knocked from that position, you're probably going to be able to get the res. So it's a decent power position for fights, but nobody's really going to fight you at top cement. And Space Station already looted everything over there, so they wanted to rotate out to a different spot on the map to play for some kills. Team Liquid just outside. Evil Geniuses certainly have spotted them at this point, or at least I assume so, given the way they're playing.
Bit of calm. You can see Team Liquid up ahead. Likely just scouting. Love that we highlight Precision here and jump over to his POV because he is the sub, right? Boy played a lot of the group stages. Boy did phenomenal, but Precision, they brought him in for Survivor Match Day 2, and dude really iced up in a lot of those scenarios. Now, in terms of our second airdrop, it's actually going to go up towards West Admin. Mind you, this is the high value supplies. A lot of golds, potentially some reds if you're lucky. Not sure if it's going to be rotated up for maybe Space Station. They're going back Cement Plant as we look at maps right now. And you see they've already invested the drone to see.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Space Station thinks there's maybe some people still in admin. If they knew what we knew, which would be terrible if they did, because they would be able to do whatever they wanted. But if they knew what we did, they should rotate up to admin. Maybe take that airdrop for funsies, do wall breaker, and then leave via elevator extract. There's nobody on the north side of the map at all. It's free for everybody, but we'll see.
We're underground, we're heading. We'll see if we hit admin and come up through the basement. But elsewhere, Evil Geniuses does spot out Team Liquid, who is moving back up towards barracks, albeit quite slowly. Ensure that we check everything to see if we got mirrored or not, which really didn't.
You know, FaZe are all the way back at Visitor Center now, so not going to engage with WK Forever, who have moved up into Substation as expected. They scouted it, didn't see anybody there, so they're working their way up north. Looks like everybody is slow creeping north. There's a quick spot on Team Liquid, making their rotation. Loco going to make them at least use some util, just for the fun of it.
Might as well burn it and mess with their cooldowns. They were running, I will say, Team Liquid during Survivor Match Day 2 had some of the most interesting operator compositions, very unique and different to everyone else in the lobby. So obviously they can easily get read. If they look over and they're like, hey, they're running XYZ, there's a good chance they're going to be able to identify that that is Team Liquid in the lobby.
Yeah, it's actually a decent point. Team Liquid also the only team not running a Raptor. And if you can get away with that on this map, which so far they've been able to, you'll be able to use Raptor for later rounds. Tide Prison is a good example of one that Raptor has actually found a ton of value on. And even potentially using Raptor on some future Space City rounds could be nice for Brakkesh as well. So there's a couple different options for saving Raptor. Most people don't, just because Zero Dam is so punishing if you get caught in rotation that you haven't been able to scout. Evil Geniuses are trying to catch Team Liquid in rotation. Gave him some warning fire. Said, we're coming for you. And that's exactly what they've done.
It could kind of trap them up in here, too.
Yeah.
Because they were quick to rotate to the other side of this. And now with Raptor droning straight inside, this is what you're talking about. You're getting the resources available. You're scouting it out. You got Precision to the right. And there's Hodzik. Now relay the information back to the team. Do we want to insert ourselves into this fight?
Yeah, it's a tough call. And Liquid could back up. But if they back up and it's red accordingly, they're just going to get trapped again. And they could wait him out. Play the game of chicken that we see so often on Zero Dam. In the meantime, everybody else is also rotated up to the north side of the map. FaZe has gone from Visitor Center all the way up Ridge. You can see them in X-Ray all the way up. Top of Parkour Course. Zipped over here. And Spacestation Gaming is inside of admin, checking all the corners. Every box. Waiting patiently.
Same with WK Forever, just kind of putting up Silverwing and checking out the horizon. Little do they know they're one of the last teams down south here on Zero Dam, not gonna lie. About this time, usually people are fighting in admin, but during Americas in the Survivor match day, I believe it was 1, everyone was fighting out into the water. It was just wild. But we pull up the map, kind of give that update. You were talking about FaZe. They've moved back into it, and they're kind of filtering in through Garage over towards admin. SSG starting to put feelers out for the airdrop. There's a very good chance that we're going to be able to recover this. Not sure if Evil Geniuses will catch wind of it. They do have a Raptor on their squad, but they've really been focusing on using those util to focus on Team Liquid, who has just been vibing. They're chilling.
Yeah, I mean, they have to. They're actually in a really bad spot. And all they can do is just kind of wait out the clock right now.
Make some
or hope Evil Geniuses gets caught by a flank from somebody else, which there was a thought about it. You see Spacestation Gaming, they've moved this direction, but they're not full sending towards barracks. They don't necessarily know, or if they do, it's not really worth it. And you can see that Skies has pulled the lever. And just in the nick of time, look at the difference. This is the last extraction for certain. 348 to 351, just in the nick of time. 3 seconds to spare. A team will go out via elevator extract. Currently, FaZe are already poised to take it. As Evil Geniuses abandon the trap on Team Liquid, they're looking to make a play for Spacestation Gaming.
I mean, do it. Let's go. 2 heavy hitters automatically qualified from the group stage. They run straight into each other. What a way to kick off the finals in Americas. Now, too easy here on your screen. You can see as we jump on over to the player, grabbing that airdrop. A couple of reds. We take it.
Okay.
Premium coffee better hit hard.
That's not bad. I mean, that was a solid like 600K in reds, plus a little bit extra. So we'll take the extra. It pushes them up to 2 mil in profits.
Ooh. All right. Raptor to scout. Of course, they've moved down towards where Wallbreaker is. And with less than 3 minutes in the match, man, like that's going to be pretty difficult to navigate all of that. Now we think down towards the south. WK Forever did actually move out of major substation. I believe they went ahead and bought that extract in the south to deny it from anyone else.
Yeah, I believe so as well. They really do want to get out because they have the M82. So they may come check this fight and then run back down to the bottom. Fight at hand, though. Skies has been ripped to shreds. Armor in complete disarray, but he's still able to make it indoors. 2 minutes 20 on the extraction. Just a hair over that in the total game. FaZe still holding down backside of shipping containers and holding down the position by the extract while Mr. Diogod is on a solo route to do what exactly? Maybe catch a crazy flank, a crazy third party as D-Wolf?
Does the route man get paid? Very aggressive, kicking down doors and immediately slowing down once we get upstairs. Like, I think I'm getting pretty close. Maybe I should actually be a little more incognito. For WK Forever, they are actually pushing out their Nox player. So here's the deal. 2 members of WK Forever are running back towards the extract. You called it right. They've got that, but what is it, 1.4 mil? That's too big for the safe box, so probably going to send them out. And I would imagine that Peaky on the Nox, which is the perfect assassin, is going to move forward and try to find some engagements.
Yeah, and there's C-Bots. He's taking the M82 out. He's going to use it in the next round. I like this play from WK Forever. They already got paid. They already got 3 kills. Like, this is a great map for them. They're probably going to be the top team, depending how the last 70 seconds of this game goes. And we're in it. Last minute. Extraction available, but most of these teams have basically not gained anything on the map, so they desperately want kills, so they're going to look for them. WK Forever will likely be the only players that actually extract out of this map. The lever was pulled, the elevator extraction is there, but nobody's going to take it. They haven't earned it. They haven't gained anything yet. It's time to fight, and we're running out of daylight. 45 seconds.
We're just going to steamroll into each other. Sudoka out here, getting some angles onto Hod 6. Smoke's expended, so he's not going to fall here. Now, Peaky pops Silent Assault and immediately sends inside. This guy's
got nothing to lose. Oh, nice find. Peaky with a perfect angle. Knocks ult Pulp. Comes swinging up the stairs. Finds Moo. Here goes Precision, taking down a member of FaZe. FaZe able to take down a member of Killzall. Killzall down. Skies answers back. It's utter chaos. FaZe eliminated. 15 seconds on the clock. Mendo and Team Liquid, the only team to not lose anybody yet. Everybody else down to a duo. Team Liquid still a trio, but have they found much of anything? Maybe a kill here, maybe a kill there. Articuno trying to make a play in the final 3 seconds. Will he peek and find it in the nick of time? Gets one, yes, but can he get the full? I think it'll get credited to him, and maybe FaZe will get one from SSG, but thanks for making our jobs difficult, ladies and gentlemen. You all fought at the exact same time and all traded like 1 kill each. That was something. WQ Forever, likely the biggest winners.
I love how we're looking at the faces of our players now, too. They're like, the heck just happened? Is that really how Zero Dam just played out? Usually we see people fighting anywhere starting around 5 minutes, even 3 minutes. Of course, we did have one team wiped thanks to that airdrop. WK Forever did take out Nightmare early on. But after that, it was very cautious, right? We don't want to do anything crazy because this is the eco round. We need to fight for those Mandel bricks later on. But of course, the best team, when you send 2 players out, when you procure yourself some high-value reds, you get the M82 and 4 KP, okay, that's a best team, WK Forever.
That's exactly right. 4 kills is going to be the most of anybody else. Like I said, everybody got a little bit of blood besides Nightmare. Evil Geniuses 1, FaZe Clan 1, Spacestation Gaming 2, and Team Liquid did find 2 as well and gave away none. WK Forever found their team wipe, plus Peaky's 1 more on the stairs in admin. So a great job from these guys to find 4, get the M82 out, get a red out, and walk away on top of round 1. A slower Zero Dam than I was expecting. But hey, that's the way it goes in the finals. Everybody trying to be cash respecters, and let's see who's able to earn it. Top of the board here, C-Bots, WK Forever, 2 assists. And then, of course, WK Forever, their 2 that they extracted with had the most value by a mile, and then Killzall there in 3rd with safe box stuff.
Yeah, definitely, especially after that airdrop. But our round 1 MVP is going to be none other than Crab. A nice little extraction to get yourself out of the map with 2 kills will open the door for our potential 7-round series here in the Delta Force Rise Series Finals in Americas. Well, Ghosh, very similar to what we witnessed in EMEA this morning on pace of play for Zero Dam. And I'd imagine our leaderboard will be incredibly close like we saw earlier, too.
Yeah, going to be very close, but of course, Brakkesh up next and a Mantle Brick up next, which will definitely change this leaderboard, and I think change the playstyle as well. Folks, if you're watching and you want to be a part of this in the future, this is the Finals Championship Sunday of the Delta Force Rise Series. It was 5 weeks, and you can participate in the next season. Look at that. Registration opens for Season 2 tomorrow. Yes, August 10th, a chance for you to qualify for this exact same competition. Make sure you sign up with your team. Don't miss your chance to compete, and drop a follow on all major socials to keep up to date on everything Delta Force Rise Series, folks. Next up, first Mantle Brick. Who can get it? Who can gain a nice advantage in a competition? Yesterday, earlier today, teams are seeing, hey, if we get a brick, we're probably top 3. That means you're probably into Season 2. Not going to want to miss it. Not going to want to miss the brick. Let's take a short break here in the booth.
The enemy got the Mantle Bricks. Find it. Stop them. Mantle Bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first brick of the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around comes around.
I'm not going to do very much. Oh. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
They have so much damage in there to slow.
The wait is over. The battle lines are drawn. The stage is set for absolute dominance. Welcome to the road to glory. Only the elite remains to fight for the championship title. Across the Americas, hundreds fought, but only 6 teams survived. Meet the Titans who carved their path to the finals. Evil Geniuses. Dominant. Unstoppable. Evil Geniuses storm through the group stage, proving they are the apex predators of the region. Spacestation Gaming. Fearless and resilient. Spacestation Gaming fought through every obstacle, earning their direct ticket to the ultimate showdown. FaZe Clan. Battling through the high-stakes survival stage, they proved their resilience when everything was on the line. NTMR. Refusing to back down, they clawed their way out of the gauntlet and earned their spot among the elite. Team Liquid. With ice in their veins, Team Liquid delivered under pressure to secure a shot at the championship trophy. W-Key Forever. Seizing their last chance at redemption, they complete the Americas roster and are ready to shock the world. 6 elite squads. Every team fights for a share of the prize pool, but only the top 3 will claim their tickets to Season 2. Who will rise to glory? Tune in live for the Americas Finals.
Welcome back. Delta Force Rise Series America's Finals just wrapped up map 1-0. Damn, frankly, we had a nice early fight. W-Key Forever came out on top against Nightmare, and then everybody else waited till the last 45 seconds for a crazy bang out at the end. And with the chaos, everybody got a little bit of blood, and that's about it. So our leaderboard will look fairly one-sided, but mostly pretty close. You're going to see, of course, when we show it, here it is. W-Key Forever find their way to the top. 10 points, solid kills, decent supply. Everybody else nice and close on the leaderboard. This next map's going to dictate a lot, Tev.
See, that's what I'm saying. When you look at our final leaderboards after round 1, it is incredibly close. Of course, there's usually like one person that kind of is above the rest, but it really comes down to this. And as we move on to round 2, it's Brakkesh, baby. That means our first Mandel Brick round. Of course, there will still be airdrop. So if you didn't get the M82 in map number 1, have no fear. There'll be another, sniper that drops on the map. In terms of operators, think about what those decodings in the first Mandel Brick is going to bring. Uluru, Raptor, and Gizmo is typically the most popular operators for Americas. Gizmo's been rising in pick rate. Raptor, incredibly important for that information. Uluru for the defense, especially if we go to the Royal Museum decoding station. My only thing is, we didn't see it happen too much in the EMEA earlier today, but the question is Tempest based on spawns, Goj. Will we see a team bring in Tempest?
I feel like we've seen at least one team just go for it. And last time it was Genius, I think, in EMEA that actually did it, and it paid off. They actually got the brick, not necessarily because of that, but they had it in the pocket in case they needed it once they got the brick to Museum. So I think the biggest question for me is actually less a little bit about the comps and more about how this map will play. I think in general, you've got to remember that with Royal Museum, there is a pretty big, I'll call it, defense that people can play outside of Museum. There's a building just outside of the spawn of the brick that whoever gets there first, they can just hold the line and prevent anybody from getting the brick out of spawn. And so sometimes teams will grab it immediately and then rush indoors and immediately plant the brick. And sometimes we sit here and watch each other in this big standoff around the brick where it spawns just outside of Royal Museum. Again, it'll spawn to the south. There's a decoding station just inside of Museum. It's why these tier 1 spawns are so important. Brakkesh is the only map that has these spawns this close to the brick. So a big moment for teams to grab this spawn and grab the brick accordingly. We'll see what happens. Will it be a fast-paced map or will it be a slow-paced map? Let's get into it. Brakkesh, it's time for the bricks. And folks, I'm really excited to say that guess what? We're going into Brakkesh, which means we've got another giveaway for you. Get ready. SR3M Combat Ready Skin. Have you gotten it yet? If you haven't, when you see the code pop on your screen, type it in as fast as possible. Redeem in-game or the official website. Only 25 total redemptions, so it's your chance to get this skin by typing in this code. You all know how this works. We've been doing it for a while, and hopefully you could finally get it on the final day of Season 1. Get your skin, get in-game, and get ready. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. First Mantle Brick round, the main objective. Let's see who pops off and takes over.
Get into it, guys. It's the first Mantle Brick, like you said, Goj. And who has the tier 1 spawns? Looks like Evil Geniuses and Nightmare are going to immediately hop on it. Evil Geniuses from the north, you can see entering through the Royal Museum on that side, barricading in, already finding some reds. We'll take a fossil all day. But now, what do we see in terms of our tier 3 spawns? W Key Forever and Team Liquid. It's going to be FaZe and SSG down in the new Tower of Babel.
Here's a quick note. Evil Geniuses, they pull the spawn that you usually plays outside on brick. They elect to go inside. This is actually going to open a couple things up. One, it's going to force Nightmare to make a choice. Nightmare and Evil Geniuses sharing inside. They will likely need to fight each other to go for this brick, but it also opens up the south side of Museum for another team to rotate up and take what is a prime position to grab the brick. And what I'm seeing as we look at some loot here is that Space Station Gaming are rotating this direction. Watch out for the men in yellow. There they are on X-Ray. They're rolling straight up to the brick right now.
They said, we don't need to loot. We know there is one objective and one objective only, and we are going to seize that opportunity. It's very similar to what EMEA did. The only team that ended up at the top was because they jumped at every single opportunity to get the brick. Into the courtyard we go, the fountain, and SSG go for the Mantle Brick under the guise of smoke.
Yeah, and a quick look, it doesn't look like any teams have brought in a Tempest, and because of that, Space Station Gaming, yes, they may have grabbed the brick, but unfortunately, Loco finds the right angle. An Allura rocket takes down one member of Space Station Gaming, and the Incendiary cleans him up. So it looked like a free brick, but guess what? It wasn't. Evil Geniuses had a plan all along. Great job from Space Station Gaming. Unfortunately, you get punished for that good job you just tried to have. That was that's a tough one. It looked free to me too.
And it's just there in all its glory, sitting inside. That's going to be really tough. So I do love that kills all immediately on the Allura, goes in, picks up too easy, and you have essentially Skies from the cross holding to make sure we get him back up on his feet. Now, the objective here is, can we grab a smoke and get that brick and move it? Where you go from there, Osira Camp, where we got the map feed open, guys, is fully available. Reservoir area is a bit too far south for my liking. Typically, we don't go that route. And W Key Forever definitely has a hold on that Blue River Hotel decoding station.
Yeah, and here we go. Could still play for the brick. It's a lot closer. They can smoke it. Articuno's looking. He's going to take it, at least an Incendiary to the face, which looks like maybe it goes a bit past him, so it doesn't burn him. He's going to stay still, holding this line of sight. And waiting. Good grief. Well, I mean, what's going on with the finals, man? We got some crazy luck. Farmer Lucas pulling another red, 1.5 million off screen. I'm liking this RNG right now. EMEA was the same way. It was crazy. But here goes Spacestation Gaming. They're going to push forward past the brick, actually, looking for an engagement with the Articuno, forcing him off to go for it. Movement's got top ropes, and Articuno's pretty low inside, so he's going to have to heal up as the boys take a much more defensive chance. Yes, they go inside. They've got the brick, and they're going to take their time.
Well, build a ring up in the air to make sure we look to see what is going on. Where do we want to head? We already know Evil Genius is inside the museum, so it's going to be difficult to make sure we can get to that specific decoding station. But with Raptor Toxic Aluru, I feel like they were aiming for a Royal Museum decode.
And we swing around perspective to show where everybody's at, but this map feed really tells the story. FaZe have elected to go back to the Nuke Tower of Babel, and they're just going to play loot. Gonna go play supply. They'll show up to the Mandelbrick fight whenever it happens, but for now, the Mandelbrick is safe in the hands of Spacestation Gaming as FaZe pulls a laptop as well. My God, they're pulling 2.2 million. This is ridiculous RNG right now. I love it. So they'll jump to the top as of current with no major fights happening yet. There it is. Laptop 2.2 mil in pocket and in safe box, and more reds being found. But of course, eyes have to go to the brick. Will Spacestation Gaming take it to a decoding station? And can they get the Raptor drone up in the sky to showcase where the teams are at? Because WK Forever is holding the west. There's 2 teams inside of museum. Are they going to take it indoors there? Could they maybe just rat out to east and go to camp? We'll see.
In terms of that first airdrop, it is going to land just to the east of the Blue River Hotel. Now, I did mention that WK Forever was up on that Horizon. Team Liquid still in the north. Now, after an M82 in Zero Dam, if you throw another high caliber weapon in the hands of WK Forever, they're going to be kitted out for some later rounds.
Yeah, it's actually a really good shout. WK Forever in the best position right now to grab this airdrop. It's one of my favorite new additions to Brakkesh here is we have a Mandelbrick, yes, but also airdrop, so... See, Precision is peeking it from distance as Team Liquid are way up in the northwest, above WK Forever, moving this direction.
That's a good angle.
45 seconds on the Mandelbrick timer. This is the first timer. This is the one that will send it back to spawn that I talked about, which is just outside. So not a big deal, no harm, no foul for Spacestation Gaming, but it does mean they're going to have to go out in the open again if they want to get it back.
And you do have the initial decode on the Mandelbrick that takes 4 minutes, and we're under 12 minutes on the match timer, which is definitely going to be pretty short on time if we're changing hands a few times.
2 of the top teams right next to each other, one indoors, one on the outside. Nightmare have been pretty quiet inside of the other side of Museum. I've been elected to push over towards Evil Geniuses. Brick goes back to spawn. It'll pop up at its spawn in about 5 seconds. And Evil Geniuses sure could go for it, but this is the stall out that I was talking about right before we got into this round, Tiff. When a team elects to hold the building outside a museum and hold the Overwatch position on the brick, it is so dang difficult to grab it without a Tempest. So now we wait.
Over on the EMEA side of things, we did have a team immediately hop the brick on Brakkesh. They ended up with 6 kills and a pretty decent map in general. But for Americas, a very stark difference as we move back inside to check on Evil Geniuses for Royal Museum. Kind of guarding this decode station up top. Now, Spacestation Gaming, they've moved out. You've got 2 easy across the way. Sky's holding the cross, and they're really trying to set a trap. For Team Liquid, we're staring at the airdrop. WK Forever didn't actually push out to grab it just yet.
A slow Brakkesh. But what can you expect in the finals? Everybody not wanting to make the first mistake. WK Forever checking their messages. I don't know. They're just waiting outside of hotel, waiting for somebody to walk into their line of sight. And Spacestation Gaming, you know how they roll. They're not going to wait on anybody. They find the right moment, don't see anybody peeking the right angles, and they get the brick back to safety. What do they do with this brick? Do they take it up to camp? Do they take it to market? Do they head down to Reservoir where FaZe is waiting? A couple of these decoding stations are being camped as of current.
And they have Raptor. They could scout out ahead. They should, in theory, go to camp. That's right, Elsnose. I see you. Giving us some luxurious artwork on the walls. Checking the time.
I mean, I think the biggest things to consider, right? Like, everybody's playing slow because of the power positions they find themselves in. You see Mindo actually taking down the boss. Big shout there. You can get your lucky wooden sculptures to get your gold armor faster. But in general, right now, you've got Team Liquid able to play for market. You've got WK Forever able to play for airdrop and west side decoding station. Nightmare Evil Geniuses inside of Museum, making sure that Space Station doesn't plant there. So everybody's waiting on somebody to make a move on the brick. Spacestation Gaming's the team that's doing that. So they get the brick. They scout out with Raptor, aka why he's so valuable. Drone in Sky, they say, oh, camp's open? Hell yeah, let's go over here. WK Forever now making a move with the brick on the move. They're finding that 50 cal ammo. That's an M82 going to WK Forever. That will be their second M82 going to WK Forever. Space Station Gaming have started the decode. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are headed to the northeast, and everybody's starting to make a move that direction because everybody wants to play for this brick.
Well, you have to start thinking about what the defense is going to look like for Space Station, right? I mentioned with the Alluru, you've got the rocket as ult. Will your cooldowns be managed? You've got Raptor, so you can at least put the drone in the sky and keep tabs on whether or not people are rotating over towards you. There we go. Good little look at the lucky wooden sculptures. We're just kind of throwing them elsewhere. I see you, Mindo.
So yeah, Mindo's hiding them in the bird's nest. They're going to come back for those if they have the time for it. And it's actually placed right next to the northern extraction point. So I actually like that strategy a lot. In case things go awry, they don't want to give those away to their opponents. So remember that. Remember where those are. They're in a bird's nest. You can't mistake them. You know exactly where that is. And now it's time to play for the brick. 3 minutes on the clock on the decoding station, folks. As a quick reminder, Mandelbrick rules are very simple. It can never leave this decoding station, but we can run out of game clock time. Every steal resets the time back to 4 minutes, minus 30 seconds, which stacks. The second steal goes to 3 minutes, the third to 2.5. You get the idea.
I'm curious if we're just going to thread it up into the air to see where Space Station is and give that information, or maybe just distract. Make sure you shoot out the drones and immediately make that contact. We're starting to breach into camp a bit early, which is nice, right? So knowing that that time is going to keep on ticking down, will Articuno be able to lock it down? Nice incendiary straight onto Skies. That HP ticking to about 25%.
I mean, you got so many hit markers on that. You've got to push forward. But of course, too easy. He's holding a line of sight on one side, kills all on the other. He abandoned his spot on top 10. You got to watch for that top 10 roof. It overlooks, yes, the brick, but also this choke point. Usually that's where the Alluru player will play because they can put down the deployable cover up there. So Killzall drops down low after his cover gets obliterated. And everybody using a lot of util right now, but only 80 seconds, or a little bit more than that, on the clock now. About 90 seconds on the clock for teams to go for this brick. Currently, it is just Evil Geniuses contesting, but FaZe are on the way. Team Liquid are on the way from the north side. And WK Forever and Nightmare have to decide when they want to cross from mid-map.
Well, they're also starting to look towards FaZe, so they know there's another team across. And how do we just focus on the objectives? Distance is going to give us some hit markers onto Evil Geniuses. So now they have to pick up the pace. You can see with the double Allurus already putting up the cement walls for coverage behind it. FaZe now doubling back because WK Forever is on the horizon.
Yeah, if you're a Space Station fan, you are just pumping your fist in the air. Like, this is great news if you're a Space Station fan because Evil Geniuses can't push forward if they're getting shot in the back. FaZe elected to shoot very early, where frankly it didn't do anything to Evil Geniuses besides make them more timid on this push. And still, Team Liquid is too slow on the draw from the north side. So Space Station Gaming's only had to look one direction. There's about 30 seconds on the clock. There it is. There's our timer in free cam. 25 seconds, and no one is near the brick right now. Nobody can make a play. Nobody has Tempest ult to jump forward and go for this and be willing to sack their life for it. If nobody moves quick enough, in the first Mandel Brick round. Spacestation Gaming could get this for free. Is this a free brick? Do you count it as a free brick? The pressure's on. Evil Geniuses is on the move. About 10 seconds remaining. 6, 5, 4. There it is. Spacestation Gaming. They're going to get a free brick. Evil Geniuses can't make a move through the choke point. Spacestation Gaming go up early in this one. Everybody a bit too timid in finals.
The defense had to be insane, and now Killzall finally going to fall at the hands of Articuno's composite incendiary. So for a 3v2 on them, Skies and 2 easy, we'll have to do something about it. Evil Genius, it allows them to move into camp proper, and they know exactly where they're looking for that full.
This is really bad news. Spacestation Gaming with the brick. I think they're like at 100% win rate when they have a brick in hand. It's ridiculous. Still got to get another one in future matches, but the fact that Spacestation Gaming finds themselves on match point, they've got to be excited about that one. And again, it goes back to the same interview that we've done over and over and over again with Killzall the Beast. He says, you cannot rely on somebody else to do your job for you. You've got to take the game into your own hands and go for the objective. And that's exactly what they did. They played patient enough when they needed to outside, when they saw a moment of opportunity, and they cleared the way with that drone. They made their way towards camp, and nobody could respond in time. Too slow on the draw. SSG take the lead.
It's not even like it was flawless, right? They were the first team to immediately go for the Mandel Brick upon spawn. And as soon as they do it, what happens? They go down a player immediately. And then the Mandel Brick resets back at spawn 5 minutes later, and they must go again and recover it. They sit on it for a bit before deciding they want to commit to camp and do so. Now, with 3 minutes remaining in Space Station, the only team of 2 in the lobby. Let's see you guys go for some KP. In the meantime, Skies, we got an airdrop.
Quick loot. Nothing crazy. All golds. Yeah, pretty awful, unfortunately. Spacestation Gaming, while looting, lose too easy. Equal plays, finding an angle. Nightmare putting at least a point on the board. The format incentivizes kills. 800k technicality per kill. The teams also desperately need to play for the objective. And everybody in this one just playing very timid, playing strategic, trying to play slow, not trying to scam. And unfortunately, by not playing for the brick, they've all scammed.
That was the one thing that we've heard from every single team in the Survivor match day. Friday and Saturday. Had to go for it. Make sure you do it yourself. You said it for Space Station. That is their only objective. They came in so high in the group stages and wanting to do so here in finals. Now, for Space Station, down to a solo. W Key Forever on the opposing side. But we'll check in with Evil Geniuses as they look to get active.
Nightmare have picked up 2 thus far. One on Mr. Diocad on main. The other on Space Station Gaming. And it does look like Space Station Gaming's third does elect to extract. So a great job from SSG to get one out at the very least and protect some of the gear they brought in, while also getting the brick. Everybody else left to their own devices with 90 seconds on the clock. Evil Geniuses with a nice creddy corner here. He should be able to pick up one if they overextend, but seemingly they've got some intel. Mumu, one of the straightest shooters in the game, looking to take down one of the hottest teams out there right now, Team Liquid, and Hodzik with a perfect angle. Evil Geniuses in a 3v2 now, and that confirmed comes through, so Hodzik gets a point on the board for Team Liquid, and they're going to try to push the equation. Drone in hand, EMPing should shock down, and they're going to get all 3 of Evil Geniuses. C-Boss from distance with the M82 steals Loco away, so they only get 2 high-caliber weapon in hand using it on this round.
And you see the EMP is being thrown straight at Team Liquid. Loot the bodies with quickness, because if you hear that M82 from a distance, you know there's a chance that it can look directly at you. W Key Forever wanting to get mixy, but they're being conservative about it. But look at Crab and C-Bots walking up the stairs. Hodzik was one of the players from Team Liquid that had crazy angles. But will they be able to find precision? The smoke goes out, the cross is in, and here comes the chow for precision, and they body him.
Great move from W Key Forever, able to find one, but a quick answer back. Mendo finds one on the other side. 19 seconds, and you need to get confirmed, but Mendo's 1 HP in a dream. He goes for the Ego Chow and misses. C-Bots rechows and obliterates him. FaZe finding some kills on equal plays, but W Key Forever, a great play towards the end, a great challenge. They pick up a couple kill points of their own, and with 4 seconds on the clock, everybody else just sprinting at each other, trying to find something, and they will get nothing. A little bit of blood for everybody, but only a brick for Space Station Gaming. An interesting start to the final lobby. Hey, Killzall the Beast is excited about it.
I mean, he's definitely hyped. You can see Skies as well. Just positives for FaZe. Yeah, you find some momentum here, but here's the deal. If you want to be the champions of the Delta Force Rise Series Season 1 in Americas and take home 60K, it is all about the Mandel bricks. EMEA ended in 5 rounds. We will probably not see 7 games here in the Americas series if Space Station Gaming has something to say about it.
There's a stat line out there somewhere. Space Station Gaming will get the best team. But the times that Space Station Gaming has struggled is when they weren't able to find bricks. They get one early. There's a storm coming, Harry, and it's coming from the side of Space Station Gaming. Holy cow. All right, well, with that start, SSG don't find a kill, but Skies at least gets out of the map to protect some of the loot. WKey Forever yet again top fragging with 4, but Nightmare find 3, Liquid find 3, Evil Genius was find 2, and even FaZe finds 1. So, like I said, I know it felt slow, but blood exchanged hands from every single team. But SSG stand tall with the brick. Looking back, Seabots is playing great. Honestly, WKey Forever came in bottom seed TIFF, and they're fragging out right now. All their chows have looked near flawless. They're making the right calls on pushes and fights. They just did it a bit too late to play for the brick, maybe expecting some of these other teams that were closer to actually do something about it.
And that's the biggest misplay that you can have, is because everyone talks about, hey, someone else is going to do something. It doesn't quite work like that, especially when you've got a lot of people looking for the objective. In terms of our top assisters, you can see WKey Forever. You got Team Liquid there in the middle. Back to asset earners, 2.2 mil from L Snows. Seabots, 1.1. Sudoka from FaZe also rounding out the top 3. Some big momentum in terms of assets, but our round 2 MVP is going to be Seabots.
Seabots, a nice game. 3 kills from him, and congrats to WKey Forever, likely being in second place at the end of that one. We know Space Station Gaming will be at the top, regardless of squad points. Our leaderboard always sorted by the amount of mana bricks you have, and then by squad points. But SSG on top, everybody else trying to figure it out. Folks, we are headed to Tide Prison next. Another eco round, another chance to get your money up before the onslaught of Space City rounds. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to get real sneaky. It might play a little slow, and then there's going to be a crazy bang out at the end. So get ready for a big fight. Folks, we're going to take a very short break here in the booth. When we come back, Tide Prison.
The enemy got the Mandel bricks. Find and stop them. Mandel bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first brick of the tournament, and they're going to do it!
What goes around, comes around.
Very much, though. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. There it is.
Hey guys, some of you may know me, some of you may not. My name's Killzall, or The Beast, or Killzilla, if that's what you want to call me. But I'm here to go through my setup today, so let's get started. First of all, I play on a 2K OLED monitor with a Wooting 60HE V2 with the wrist rest. I have a Artisan mousepad with a Logitech Super Strike mouse. And to here, I listen on the Odyssey Maxwell's. It's just a 4070 Ti. It's just a regular old computer, nothing too fancy. And this is where the magic happens. This is the Beast's bed. And these are also my lucky charms. The one dog on the left is Sky. The dog on the right is Sage. They're my babies. They get me through the day. That's my room. So let's get into some of these questions. So how our team reached the finals. We won in week 1. We won both of our games there. We got 20 points from that. Going into week 2, we had 1 game. We won that, ending it off at 43 points. So we ended up going 2nd place, barely behind EG, to get into the grand finals. We're here to win. We're not taking anything else. We're tired of 2nd place. That's all we've been getting. We're scrimming. We're playing each day. We're VOD reviewing. We watch Chinese VODs to see how they play, to see if we can change our play. So what do I do during my breaks? Of course, got to get the meals in. I'm a big guy. On the weight loss, so the meals have been pretty good for me lately. And I love to take the dogs swimming. I love to play with the dogs. And of course, I live on my own. All right, so that's it for me. Again, Killzall signing out, SSG. Let's go SSG. We're going to get that dub on Sunday. Everybody have a good rest of your day. I hope you enjoy watching. Have a good one.
The wait is over. The battle lines are drawn. The stage is set for absolute dominance. Welcome to the road to glory. Only the elite remains to fight for the championship title. Across the Americas, hundreds fought, but only 6 teams survived. Meet the Titans who carved their path to the finals. Evil Geniuses. Dominant. Unstoppable. Evil Geniuses storm through the group stage, proving they are the apex predators of the region. Spacestation Gaming. Fearless and resilient. Spacestation Gaming fought through every obstacle, earning their direct ticket to the ultimate showdown. FaZe Clan. Battling through the high-stakes survival stage, they proved their resilience when everything was on the line. NTMR. Refusing to back down, they clawed their way out of the gauntlet and earned their spot among the elite. Team Liquid. With ice in their veins, Team Liquid delivered under pressure to secure a shot at the championship trophy. W Key Forever. Seizing their last chance at redemption, they complete the Americas roster and are ready to shock the world. 6 elite squads. Every team fights for a share of the prize pool, but only the top 3 will claim their tickets to Season 2. Who will rise to glory? Tune in live for the Americas Finals.
Welcome back, Delta Force Rise series. It's America's Finals time, and we've just wrapped up our first 2 maps. Frankly, they've been playing a little slow for my taste, but all the teams trying to be cash respecters, and let's see who gets the most cash at the end of the day. Spacestation Gaming walk away with the first brick of the day on Brakkesh. Fortune favors the bold today, and to be honest with you, yes, there was some contest, but they were just too late, so it was fairly free for me. Spacestation Gaming, hardly any points, but they've got a brick, so they're top of the leaderboard. W Key Forever, top fragging. They find their way to second.
Hey, look, 15 squad points is going to do it. And at this point, if they get themselves a brick, it would jump them up to the top of the leaderboard for Team Liquid, about to breach that double-digit squad points. Nightmare, Evil Geniuses, and FaZe Clan, all within relatively similar positions. Honestly, one of them just needs to have a pop-off game. Nightmare just needs to catch some momentum. But when we think about Tide Prison, you're right. You mentioned this pace kind of screeches to a halt. It is incredibly slow and then very action-packed towards the end. For our operators, you're going to see a ton of knocks. His util kit is so valuable when it comes to the tight corridors of Tide Prison. Morse as well, especially. But Shepard can be fun. Occasionally, you're going to get the rogue Seneva. It's probably going to be Hodsick. He just wants to grapple someone and bash him down. So I'll just be counting down until we get that.
And of course, we got to talk quickly about spawns. Tier 1 spawns on Tide Prison don't do a whole lot besides prevent you from getting a Tier 1 spawn on the next map, which is Space City, which has a brick. So you really ideally don't want a Tier 1 spawn. But if you do get one, make good use of it, get aggressive, and go for some kills. Time for some Tide Prison, folks. Excited to see which teams just ball out and go for kills. If I'm Spacestation Gaming, I got nothing to lose. I have basically no points, but we have a brick. Let's go for broke here. Let's get aggressive. Let's go play for some kills and ruin some people's day. That's what I'd be saying. Now, they probably won't do that. They've played Tide Prison enough. They've probably played 600 scrims at this point. They know what to do. Don't listen to the caster mans, but I'm here as a man of the people, so let's see what happens.
We like to incite chaos, and based off everything I learned from Killzall in that interview on the break, he has 2 cute dogs named Sky and Sage, and he seems like an absolute gem.
An absolute gem that loves to talk trash in the community, which I love. So I respect it. He's a great competitor and seems like a good person as well. Now, looking at our comp, quickly you can see a lot of Noxes. Why? Well, it's great for some of these engagements, sneaking around the corner, shooting people in the back. But look at FaZe. First blood in Tide Prison. It's a Christmas miracle. W keep forever in a blender. They've been top fraggers today. Let's see if they can maintain that spot at the top. FaZe on a big push. FaZe looking for a wipe. 2 go down. They need to chase their last one, but they're going to make sure they get their confirms to get those extra points.
Oh boy, it's gonna be W Key forever with the last Nox, and you saw him hit the flash. He dives into the water. Sudoku connected a whirling disc, and they just kept on moving forward. Now, for W Key forever, who does have the most squad points out of everyone in the lobby, this is not what you want to have happen to you right off the rip. For FaZe, they understand that this is how they push the equation. This is how they get closer up to the top of the leaderboard. So when we move into the Space City Brick Marathon, we can change our fate.
What a move. That is the main fight that happens usually at the beginning of the game, but I was expecting either FaZe or W Key Forever to slow down a bit. They kind of just butted heads, and you're right, perfect. Just, oh no. Peaky, run away from the shark, or swim away rather. It's gonna get up on land. Our map almost claimed another. Sharks have been deadly recently. I don't know what's in the water. Well, I guess I do. It's a shark. But everybody
it really
else
do be like that. They've got sharp teeth.
Everybody else gonna stay on land for now.
Smart way to do that. Peaky hops on out. That extract that'll be, you know, later in the map, but for now he heals up. Can we recover Crab and Seabots? If I'm FaZe, I'm playing around that space. I do not want to give those 2 players back to Peaky. And that timer for that yellow res will likely expire, but of course we'll keep you up to date. For now, recovery is possible.
Yeah, FaZe is just going to sit on these bodies and make sure they never stand up. Now, in the meantime, look at Spacestation Gaming. They found an angle as well. Looks like Nightmare got a bit unlucky. A great angle from Spacestation Gaming here. Gets one down. As they go up vertically, they get punished for it. So the other 2 go back downstairs. No zip for you, says Easy. The Nox gets paid yet again.
Remember when we said this was going to be one of the slowest pacing maps of our series, and this is what we're getting? Just picks all over the place.
I'm loving it.
I swear. It's got to have a little Nox ult, smack him with the disc, and destroy him. All right, for now, we did get a good look at that map. Aside from this, Team Liquid was up in the north. Here's Peaky. He's becoming one with the rocks, frolicking. Nice look into his eyes. It's looking rather serious. If you just turn around, it's a beautiful view. You could pretend you're on vacation. Pretend you're in Santorini, Greece. And you're just like, the waters are so blue. You could rent a yacht for the day. A little catamaran. Whatever's your style.
Yeah, sure. W Key Forever is going to be chilling for a long time. I mean, I'm counting Noxes. Look at this on the left. You can see everybody that's running it. 2, 4, 6, 7. At least 7 Noxes out of the 18 total players on the map. So, yeah, it's about right. About 40-ish% has been the name of the game in Tide Prison.
How do you feel about Evil Geniuses bringing in the Luna? I mean, it's smart. If you really like Luna on Tide Prison and the arrows to kind of thread through the doorways, great. I feel like it's a choice.
Yeah, it's less of like, yeah, it is good on this, and it's more of, could it be better on Space City? But they've got comps that they like on Space City that don't need a Luna, so could use one here. Evil Geniuses in FaZe, maybe in an engagement here. Snow is trying to get aggressive, actually does connect on some util. Could have pushed this, but teammate's not really there to back him up, so it was going to be a 2v3 that if he peeks his corner, he's about to get laced by 3 different bullets from 3 different people, all looking this direction through this doorway. He is going to connect again with the util, tries to pop, and look at Dioka, look at Sidoko, they're pinching Evil Geniuses, the perfect setup from FaZe, and they absolutely obliterate him. FaZe, from nowhere, become the heroes of Tide Prison, They have 5 kills already. These are the people's champions now. Unbelievable.
Heck yeah. Gotta be feeling pretty dang confident after taking 2 players out of WK Forever, forcing Peaky yet again to be a solo, and now wiping the probably most aggressive, mechanically gifted fighting squad Evil Geniuses. So yeah, you'll take that all day, FaZe.
Wild start. Listen, and we said it at the top of the show, Tiff. I think it was you that brought it up. Pretty much just to throw everything you know about the way these matches should play or have been playing out the window. It is finals day. Everything can change when there's a ton of money on the line. FaZe are looking for some points.
Truly are. And honestly, if you're running double knocks, you're just able to throw so much aggression out. And you get a good look at Space Station, right? We already had 1 player down from Nightmare, and you're still looking. Got Lucas out to the left down below and Equal out towards the right. Now, you know Killzall's calming like crazy.
Hey, yo.
Yo, Equal, can we talk about that angle? Bro pops silent assault and just gets nasty with it.
What a snap. Equal Play is able to find Killzall. Yeah, he might have been calming something, but now he's calming that he's dead. Killzall looking for a sneaky play, gets punished. And Sky's going to have to do it himself here. He's got Too Easy still with him underneath. And they're checking every corner. They do not have the intel. They don't know exactly where everybody's at.
All right. As you can see, back towards Space Station. We did not recover Killzall yet. Nightmare down into the water. The reposition. Oh. Lucas here, trying to keep a distraction.
Yeah, at this point, everything's slowing down to a screeching halt. They have grabbed Killzall's body. Are going to go for this res while Equal may re-peek this. He's going to jump peek it to try to get some intel, and Easy's going to throw some util to make him think twice about it. He catches some himself, though, and has to back off. They hear the res coming through, but because of the positioning where they're taking this res, it does look like Equal Plays can't actually peek it over the top without fully exposing full body in window. A great play there from Skies to pick up Killzall, but Too Easy. They did find him. They found an angle at the very least as Farmer Lucas is swinging in from a different angle to find the shots to put Easy down. Lucas wants this fight, but he doesn't want to take it at a disadvantage, so he's going to pop back up the zip and slow things down again.
Back to look at the map phase. Still out on the east. Team Liquid in the north. SSG moving through mid. And Peaky has not left the rocks. Now, I'd imagine what Peaky is doing is just waiting for a team to rotate down through the West Watchtower area to hit that reservoir area extraction. It is a very patient play and a late game move that he's looking to make.
Yeah, not much else you could do as a solo on a map like this. So we'll turn our eyes to the rest of the teams. 3v3s, 3v2s. Nightmare still as a duo. Their third long gone at this point. Team Liquid, haven't seen much from them. They're up on the north side and could potentially engage here with Nightmare. Team Liquid are basically wrapping above them. Could swing this direction. You might be wondering to yourself, why does Tide Prison play so slow? Well, you're starting to realize why. I mean, we've had some great fights, and it does look like Snows is actually going to take down Raven. Not going to let the Ward do it himself. But this map has so much verticality and so many, I call them creddy corners, but so many corners that you can get shot from, so many wild angles. You have to slow push and slow clear everything. And sometimes when you get in these fights, everything slows way down because, one, you don't want a third party to happen, and so you're checking your back. But also, it's just tough to actually full push a fight if they're in vertical space that's difficult to get to. So kind of catching the drift of Tide Prison. But sometimes you can just death ball through like FaZe and catch somebody on the same level as you and win that engagement.
Very true, but as we reach kind of that halfway margin, that airdrop has gone down over by the west side. Not sure if anyone has any intentions of picking that up. Do still have the mission available if you really want to go for it to work your way into that. A nice little check-in with Peaky. Wonder what he's chatting about.
Yeah, probably just talking to his team about what they're going to do after the games, hanging out. I mean, he's got nothing else to do. At this point, it's like you can either go rat around and hope with Nox you can find kills, which is probably what I would do because I'm not a patient player. Or you stay really patient, play the outside, and basically play to spoil somebody's day when they walk right past you. The rats get paid on Tide Prison. It is what it is. So he's electing to go for that strategy for now, and we'll swing back to some of the other teams inside. We are at, let's see, what, 11 minutes into the game. We've got a full team wipe and nearly another. But everybody else has slowed way back down, and you brought up the GTI supply mission. It's worth talking about that for those that are just tuning in for the finals. Instead of the airdrop giving you that high caliber weapon, those sniper rifles we always talk about, you have to do the GTI supply mission. It's the mission that's noted by the specialty mission symbol that you see top middle by the game clock timer. Pull that, put a C4 on the door, protect it, watch it blow open the door, get your loot. And now all of a sudden you either have an OM or an M82. Basically one-shot sniper for the most part, especially if people are not repping gold armor, which they aren't yet. For now, we wait, see who goes for the mission, and see who gets the next kills, as FaZe are electing to rotate maybe a bit further south. The next extraction points, Tiff, are going to be reservoir area, and then, of course, you could play for some of the pipes if you wanted to.
You could play for reservoir. Curious if Peaky will allow that. He is the warden of the south at this point, and I don't know if he's going to let you pass you by.
Yeah, I mean, if you're swimming, you'll probably get away with it. I think he's got an AS foul. He's not going to be able to, like, lace you from distance, but if you go right past him, if you go right past him, you might get cooked.
Don't walk past Peaky. For now, Space Station Gaming, absolutely vibing. Everyone else, absolutely vibing. Do we see people start to cross paths like ships in the night? I'm not 100% sure, but if we're going to put the util down here, hit a little bit of a scan and be like, what's going on? Do we know where they are? Can we play up ahead? FaZe have been wanting to get really aggro, and now we've hit that 5-minute margin. I think teams are going to start to try and really locate one another so they can battle in the last 3 minutes.
This is more the pace of Tide Prison we're used to.
Oh, yeah.
Morris is getting some nice value. Sonar scanning out, trying to get a read on where everybody's at. So far, only scanning for bots, but hopefully for players here shortly when it's off cooldown. Bot 6 Saniva hasn't found much action yet either. I'm looking for a grapple. I'm looking for a beatdown. Oh, look, Peaky's moved from his rat spot, and he's moved over and actually found a red. Nice. He's looting the airdrop. He's going to give the golden reds and finds 2 gazelles. Wow, nearly 1 million there for WKF. Hey, we're getting something.
Oh, okay. Okay, buddy. We'll take that all day. Thanks for grabbing the airdrop. All right, now moving back into position. Hodsik finds a nice bottle as well for himself out towards. Now, I'm not sure if 2 members of Team Liquid are going to be diving into the potential for extracts or considering it. We'll see who decides to go for it. FaZe, on the other hand, have decided to rotate down towards reservoir.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, AS Val. And FaZe are going to be able to go reservoir if they would like to. It's got, looks like on our screen, 75 seconds for that extract. So you got to be there at 75 seconds if you want to take it. Reminder, FaZe have 5 kills. They're like the only team with real kills on the board right now. So if any team should get out, it's probably FaZe. They've got some decent loot on them as well. 7.4 mil in total profits from what they've been able to earn on the map. I mean, I think it's a great play from FaZe. I don't think anybody can stop them. So great job, FaZe. A great map. And we'll see maybe if we go up to hydraulic drainage right now. Need to pay attention to Nightmare and Space Station Gaming if we can, as FaZe are going to extract here for free. Everybody else staying to the north.
Well, there it is. Peaky too far to be able to actually do something about it. Hopefully, his safe box is looking pretty stellar to make sure that our value and our squad points are moving up and up for Space Station. 1 kill only for the trio, but at least they're back to a team of 3 and looking to get aggro. The duo of Nightmare. These teams are aware of each other. And they're just basically chatting about how they want to approach this.
Here's FaZe getting out of the map. See you later, FaZe. Great map from you. 5 kills, plenty of loot. That's an eco round right there. Everybody else still trying to get something from this one. And we've got a fight at hand, and Peaky wants a part of it. Nobody moving through Watchtower means he's going to come get a piece of the action using Nox. Equal Plays probably heard that zip. They're looking this direction. Precision from Team Liquid's going down from the Warden. Hostage fighting for his life against Warden Groth. Team Liquid are about to get wiped by the NPCs. Lock in, gentlemen. No mistakes. Too easy. Takes down Peaky. Heard him zipping. SSG find a kill. Mindo gets fooled by the boss. Hansik fighting for his life.
Yo?
He's taking!
Yo!
He won! The NPCs just wiped Team Liquid.
Could you guys not make it to Nobag when we called it? Because even if I aggroed, I felt like there's probably enough time. We were pretty far away.
No, a guard instantly like pushed through the door.
I see.
Lord have mercy on their souls. Warden Groth is top fragging.
He got sick of taking on Raven throughout the last couple of weeks and said, I want real blood, okay? Team Liquid offered up a sacrifice.
Listen, all you can do is just smile, laugh, and move on. If Team Liquid get checked from that, they are toast in this tournament.
Mendo's like, bro, what do you mean you guys couldn't make it to No Bag when I called it? Like, what?
There's nobody to blame but yourselves on that one, but you just gotta laugh. There's nothing else you can do.
Sometimes
Unreal.
Tide Prison really do be Tide Prisoning.
Oh, man. For those that don't know, we're on a competitive integrity delay. I know chat is going to go insane on that. But Team Liquid, if you're watching this back, I don't blame you, okay? He's crazy. Things were mistimed. It is what it is. Don't worry. You weren't going to find any kills anyways. You were running out of daylight and there was nobody near you. So everything's okay. Move on. Don't get checked. Let's keep playing our game. 60 seconds on the clock. Here we go. And Skies has found a nice angle. Nightmare in a bit of trouble. Lucas down. So it's just going to be equal on the other side. As it knocks, trying to find Skies from the off angle.
Ooh, okay. Could be nice to have more than one kill, but damage coming in. You can see Too Easy from a distance, scouting him out. And we've just got to focus. It's still a 3v1 left on the map, 29 seconds. You're just trying to deny the KP. You want to survive.
Yeah, I think this is the right call. You really just can't take this fight and give away another point to Spacestation Gaming. They've like kind of accidentally rolled upon a couple different kills now. I think they have, yeah, they've got 3 kills from this map. It's not a bad Tide Prison for them at all. And they kind of just stumbled across a couple free kills here and there. Peaky rolled into their line of sight. They picked up Farmer Lucas when they weren't expecting it. And that'll be the map. FaZe the big winners, certainly. But Spacestation Gaming, who were at the top and needed some points, they find a couple. Nightmare find 1 or 2 as well. But in general, it is going to be Spacestation Gaming still at the top of the leaderboard because they're Mantle Brick. FaZe leapfrogging our leaderboard. And WK Forever, big question mark for them is where they will still land. Will they still be up there on the leaderboard? Will they still be in a pretty good position? Or will FaZe have jumped them after a banger map?
I mean, it's kind of hard to say, right? Like FaZe getting the full extract, looking pretty nice. I mean, WK Forever was really unfortunate for them. They were in double-digit squad points coming into this, but after losing 2 early on to FaZe and leaving Peaky on the map, the most he could do was go grab the airdrop to find some stuff for a safe box. But our best team is FaZe, 5 KP and 7.4 million assets gained.
Yeah, 7.4 million that they're bringing out, and the 4 million that they're picking up by playing the game and getting 5 kills. It's 800K per, so that's another 4 million on top of that. That's an 11 million game. That is a big map for them. That's 5 total supply points plus the 5 kill points. That's a double-digit map on Tide Prison.
Huge.
Big one for him. Great job. Mr. Diogata going to find himself as a top slayer with 3, and Too Easy and Snows both trading out at 2. So solid game. Again, Spacestation Gaming and FaZe probably the biggest, and Diogata again, top damage dealer as well.
Yeah, not surprised to see Space Station in there as well because they kind of were just in the mix constantly. But as you go to top assists, FaZe across the board, they got the most kills. And of course, they're going to be participating in them. So good on FaZe to kind of top a lot of these rankings here for round 3. Yet again, top assets. They're the only team to focus on the extraction after taking 5 KP. Of course, they're going to be on the top assets as well.
That makes a lot of sense. And Mr. Deer got with 3 kills, plenty of damage, and 2.4 million assets find his way as the match MVP, current round MVP. Be very curious to see if FaZe can keep up this momentum. Wasn't expecting them to pop off as hard as they just did in Tide Prison, and they did it by playing aggressive. I like it. Let's see if we can see more of it, folks. Our first 3 maps done and dusted. This is about halftime, roughly, of the competition. We're about to move into Space City, where things are going to get a lot more aggressive, a lot more mantle bricks, a mantle brick in every single round, and this is where the rubber meets the road. Can Spacestation Gaming close it out in 4, or will we go all the way to 7? Folks, if you're loving the action, you like Delta Force Rise series, guess what? You can participate. Open registration tomorrow. That's when it starts. Qualifiers soon after. And then we'll be into season 2 of the Delta Force Rise series to see some of these teams that don't make it straight there have to do the same as you. And maybe if you're criticizing some of the gameplay, well, guess what? You can go prove all the haters wrong and go prove that you can compete with the best of the best in season 2. Don't miss out on your chance to compete. Folks, we're going to take a very short break here in the booth. When we come back, it's Space City. It's mantle bricks every single round. You're not going to want to miss it.
We got the mantle bricks. Find and stop them. Mantle bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first brick of the tournament, and they're going to do it!
What goes around, comes around.
Oh, I'm not going to do very much, though. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. There it is.
What's up, guys? My name's Articuno, or just Tony, or Artie. I am the IGL of EG, otherwise known as Evil Geniuses. So when you first walk into my room, it's nothing crazy. My desk is onto the right side. Then you have my bed, my actual sleep area right here. Nothing too insane. My shoe collection is shown on stream. It's in the background, along with my closet. My jerseys are there and all my attire. And right above my desk is my collectibles. All my collectibles go here for the most part. I have some cool memorabilia up here. You got your pop figures. You got some Lego sets. I even have some Delta memorabilia up here as well. But that's really all my room is. It's nothing too crazy. It's not that big. It does its job. Going into the qualifiers, we did pretty good. We showed that we definitely are competitive, that we are capable of being the best team in North America, and we pretty much showcased that going in. But in the beginning of the season, we didn't perform all that well, at least to our expectations and the expectations of others. We were touted as probably the best team in North America. We just didn't show it for the first 2 weeks. Nearing towards the end, we played extremely well. We kind of got into a groove and we figured out what we like and what the teams like. It all worked out ultimately. We got first. But to be honest, we don't practice very much at this time. Majority of our practice is during the week. But heading into the grand final, we haven't really practiced. We know what we do very well. We know the tendencies of the other teams. It's just a matter of just game planning. So it's more so just VOD reviewing on our own individually. During breaks, like we're not playing. Majority of the time, I'm just warming up, playing the game, just playing public matches or just kind of just hanging out, just relaxing, whether that be on my bed or going on a walk or driving my car, whatever it might be. Going into any match, I'm really just relaxing. That is doing it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys are supporting EG heading into the grand final. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoy.
The wait is over. The battle lines are drawn. The stage is set for absolute dominance. Welcome to the road to glory. Only the elite remains to fight for the championship title. Across the Americas, hundreds fought, but only 6 teams survived. Meet the Titans who carved their path to the finals. Evil Geniuses. Dominant. Unstoppable. Evil Geniuses storm through the group stage, proving they are the apex predators of the region. Spacestation Gaming. Fearless and resilient. Spacestation Gaming fought through every obstacle, earning their direct ticket to the ultimate showdown. FaZe Clan. Battling through the high-stakes survival stage, they proved their resilience when everything was on the line. NTMR. Refusing to back down, they clawed their way out of the gauntlet and earned their spot among the elite. Team Liquid. With ice in their veins, Team Liquid delivered under pressure to secure a shot at the championship trophy. W Key Forever. Seizing their last chance at redemption, they complete the Americas roster and are ready to shock the world. 6 elite squads. Every team fights for a share of the prize pool, but only the top 3 will claim their tickets to Season 2. Who will rise to glory? Tune in live for the Americas Finals.
Welcome back, Delta Force Rise Series America's Finals. Hot Six still grinning, looking back on Warden Groth taking him down. Tide Prison was a lot of fun, folks. You missed a lot. Warden Groth top fragged. FaZe picked up 5 kills, and they extracted via Reservoir to have the biggest map of Tide Prison we've seen in a while over a double-digit game. They should see themselves well up the leaderboard now, but Spacestation Gaming, they've still got a brick, and therefore they will still be in first. Look at this. FaZe Clan have caught W Key Forever. We got 2 top teams in the squad points category, and SSG still on top of the leaderboard. Everybody else trying to catch up.
I mean, at this point, you've got to hope on getting those bricks. We're going into Brick City, aka Space City, and you have so many chances. But when you've got SSG, the Titan, in win condition, knowing that it could end here on round 4, you've really got to bring it to them. It's going to get aggressive, and it's all about your operators. Tempest has not been picked just yet. Expect them to come out. That operator composition is usually a Stinger, a Tempest, and a Luna. Now, we have seen some Luna picks throughout our series thus far, but for the majority, this is what it's going to be. Tempest so viable, especially when they pop their ult, to be able to recover any kind of the decoding. That's why she has such a high pick rate.
Yep, it is super valuable. In map 4, you're going to see most teams go ahead and rep a Tempest because they need to make sure that the team that has the brick doesn't get the next one. And Tempest's emergency evasion device, which is their ult, we call it the Tempest ult, is the most valuable equipment you can use, most valuable gadget you can use on the map, 100%. You can grab the brick from the spawn quickly without giving away your life. You can go for steals without giving away your life. And even if you get knocked, it ropes you all the way back to wherever you planted it. And it, frankly, is further than you would think. So here we go. Space City time. Gonna see some Tempest, probably some teams thinking it's gonna go more than 4. Everybody gonna be playing for the brick. The last couple maps maybe a bit slow for your taste. Get ready. Space City, it's going to be action-packed around this brick. Let's get into it. And as we get into it, we've got a team on match point. That means we got another giveaway for you, folks. Get ready to type this code in as fast as humanly possible because you can earn 1,000 Delta tickets. There it is. Nice and simple for you. Rise Americas is the code. I can even read it out for you. Redeem in-game or on the official website. You can be one of the lucky 15 people that type it in faster than everybody else. Only 15 people will get this one. We got one more giveaway towards the end of the broadcast. Stay tuned for that. For now, let's get into the action. Space City, who gets tier 1 spawns, who sprints for the brick, and who plays a bit slower?
All right, W Key Forever up here in Dormitory. That's going to be not a tier 1 spawn. It goes to Evil Geniuses over at Westgate. You can see hiding behind, looking to get through that door if they can. Smokes expended to make sure W Key Forever cannot get the angles. In terms of the other tier 1 spawn, well, it's the team in win condition, Space Station Gaming.
It's worth mentioning, and I don't want to add too much salt to the wound, but Evil Geniuses are in dead last. Kind of by a lot. They've really not been able to get anything going. They need to step up here. They were the top team out of groups. They were on paper the best team here. Really been struggling today with the way these lobbies have been playing. So let's see if they can get their act together and get to the brick first. Space Station Gaming here. Evil Genius is here. FaZe looking like they're playing from bridge. Going to move through the south side as well. Quick look at operators. Everybody brought in a Tempest besides W Key Forever. Space Station Gaming, the only team that usually wouldn't, if you're the team that already has a brick, sometimes you slow things down in 4 and save the Tempest for later. Space Station Gaming trying to close things out here.
Kind of interesting if they do it. I love that W Key Forever actually didn't bring a Tempest in. They did have tier 1 spawns over on Tide Prisons. They knew they were not going to be guaranteed them here and feel like they can do it with that operator composition. A good look around. Even W Key Forever, Crab is the only one that's full gold. They're going to throw it onto their D-Wolf. In terms of SSG, full gold, Tempest, they're ready to play.
Yeah, SSG want to close it out. They want to do it in 4. They want to be able to boast that nobody else got a brick. Unfortunately, Mumu first to the brick. Using Tempest, grabs it, and runs for the hills. It's going to go to Centrifuge. This is classic. Evil Geniuses are able to rotate through Westgate. They get control of Centrifuge building, which is the building just behind this decoding station. Buoyancy is in front of it. And now they've got power position. We've got a brick, we got a game, and things are moving quickly on Space City. With this decoding station, a couple things you need to look out for. Evil Geniuses, they're going to hold ramp, which FaZe is looking at here in a moment, and they need to make sure somebody doesn't come over the top of shipping containers, which is mid-map. This is the ramp I'm talking about. If they're not looking at ramp, FaZe is moving quickly on Tempest ult, so if he gets knocked, he goes back, but he does get a knock. Mumu also off ult. Dio God trades one out.
All right. Let it rip you back. And of course, the action will start early as we see that brick kind of make their way even further on the decoding time. Team Liquid, though. Nightmare across the way. Nightmare finding Reds.
Killzall is actually taking down the boss and picked up red helmet for this engagement, which is quite nice. So, yes, good for loot, but also great for some of these fights to have a big advantage, especially if your opponents are using purple, for instance, like Team Liquid. We know Evil Geniuses are also not in full gold, so Space Station Gaming have a nice kit advantage for this engagement if they want it. They're playing through mid-map. W Key Forever moving this direction. They can basically wrap through Buoyancy and come up through the stairs if they want on the opposite side of the brick, or they can go into Centrifuge and play underneath, and that's exactly what FaZe is doing. So Evil Geniuses hear the footsteps. FaZe are going to play stairs just beneath this Evil Geniuses roster rather than trying to push up ramp.
Back to Centrifuge. Go W Key Forever. Different layer, but could make a play. Now, we do typically see them hanging out in that vicinity, and they like to play from that angle. Now, FaZe as well, still trying to. Nightmare kind of carving their way. Curious if they'll go through Dormitory and come in through Westgate, or if we will take the employee passage side of things.
2 minutes have passed. No one's moved for the brick besides that FaZe ult from before. 2 minutes to go and counting. Everybody's slow creeping this direction. Evil Geniuses' comms are flying, trying to communicate where they hear people and where people are pushing from. They should have all of the information at this point. At the very least, they know people are underneath them. And so they're going to be covering stairs right now. They're actually electing to not guard ramp, which is working out for them because nobody's moving that direction yet. Somebody would have to be wrapping around the south side. Here goes Dio God. FaZe making a move up the stairs.
Sound detection in progress there from SSG across the way. What is Evil Geniuses going to do to be able to answer? They inch closer towards the decode. A minute on the clock. If everyone pushes at the same time, it really makes this collapse, and sometimes it's even more difficult to steal.
Killzall does have ult when he wants it. We're going to try to answer that with an ult of his own using Tempest. Evil Genius is on your screen now. Spacestation Gaming coming through shipping containers. FaZe need to push up through the stairs at the same time. Sky's getting intel by peeking over the top. Here's the push. FaZe up the stairs. Spacestation Gaming out in the open. Evil Genius is backing off a bit, not wanting to sell the farm before the game is over. Killzall up into his business. Mumu's gonna catch him on this transition, but enough util does push Killzall back. 30 seconds on the clock. FaZe finding Articuno on the backside. Evil Genius is in trouble. One down for Evil Geniuses. FaZe have found at least one, but Crab's getting a piece of the action as well. Amidst the chaos, the brick is still getting captured. FaZe might have caused it, but look who's here. Nightmare coming up late. Mumu goes down. It's just Loco for Evil Geniuses. They can kill him to pause. Loco just needs to stay in this smoke and stay alive. 1 second. They're going to do it. Evil Geniuses. They get the brick. Everybody move too slow, and Loco stays alive by hiding in plain sight.
Staying alive inside the smoke nets themselves a brick. And yes, they only had minimal squad points coming into it, but it doesn't matter because currently they're inside the top 2 alongside Space Station. If you want to win at the end of the day, you're going to need some Mandel bricks, and what a better way to do it. Evil Geniuses do fall, but they've already done what they came here for. For Nightmare, who did show up a bit too late, this is what I was talking about, Ghosh. If everyone pushes at the exact same time, it creates this conundrum where they all start fighting the wrong people. And then Evil Geniuses can just go sit on the brick, body check it, and let the clock wind down.
Call it luck, call it skill. Loco had me lost for words, man. He was just standing in the open in the smoke. If Loco dies there, the reason it was so hype was that if Loco dies there, the timer pauses and they don't get the brick. He just needed to stay alive. That's all he needed to do. And there was no cover. So he just stood in the middle of the smoke and prayed that nobody got a hit marker, and they didn't. Too many fights at the same time, and I know it felt like everybody showed up late, and Loco did eventually die, of course. But Evil Geniuses got the brick. Yes, they were late, but everybody else expected somebody else to touch the brick and steal it away, and then it was going to be this huge fight. But Evil Geniuses, again, just go for it, and they get paid for it. This finals lobby playing differently than everybody expected. And now it is Space Station Gaming and Evil Geniuses on top, which is to be expected, just in a totally different way. Look at their score. Evil Geniuses have 4 points, but they're in second place right now.
All right. We'll get your score up. For W Key Forever, can make moves, hit 20, 25, keep that on your squad points, so hopefully you can get yourself a brick and make moves.
Now, the big story now is going for these total squad points, and unfortunately, you're just getting shot in the back as you try to move away. Team Liquid in a blender as W Key Forever continue to cause that blender to churn. Hodstick last alive, hiding behind a pillar with prayers, thoughts, and dreams, and unfortunately is going to keep those and head back to the lobby with them. 3 teams left, and Killzall has a solo. All gold, though. And with Sniper in hand, could make some waves here from a distance.
I feel like this really hurts. Space Station invested the Tempest, they invested the gold, and they came in ready to close it out on 4. Just could not get through Evil Geniuses to do it with the quickness that they were able to run it. Replays are in order. See what's been going on.
Yeah, this is where FaZe were able to strike first on the Evil Geniuses. And amidst the chaos, W Key Forever getting into the mix, I don't think anybody expected. So when they come swinging in, FaZe really couldn't get out of Centrifuge. And there was so much action around the brick, Evil Geniuses were able to steal it away. Everybody fighting the wrong person because they couldn't find Loco in the smoke. And then there was the cleanup, of course, on Team Liquid at the very end of those replays. So some fun moments to look back on. But I was talking about squad points and why they're so important. I think there's a lot of watch parties going on right now. Big shout out to Nade, Hutch, Summit, everybody watching. If you hadn't been watching the competitive series, we have 2 teams right now with the brick who are the bottom 2 teams in squad points. And so anybody else gets the next brick, one of these top 2 teams is going to be pushed down very easily with really no hope to climb back in unless they wipe the lobby and extract. And so if we go late, we haven't missed a brick yet. If we go round 6, round 7, there's a chance we could have 4 teams potentially with a brick. And with that in mind, you got to be top 3 to make it to Season 2. There's a chance you could get a Mantle Brick and not make it to Season 2 and not walk away with an increased prize pool. A lot on the line still.
Good shout, Scoj. And I mean, similarly in the EMEA region earlier today, we only went 5 rounds. So knowing that we had 2 separate teams trying to close it out, we'll see how it goes. Anything good? Take a watch.
Yeah, we'll take a Rolex. Decent little 200K there, but WK Forever, they have somehow kind of snuck away with rolling in late to the fight with, what, 6 kills? 3 from Crab, 2 from Seabots, 1 from Peaky, so... And another great red pulled as well, so WK Forever have got a much larger amount of squad points than everybody else. 27 total is their score as of current. Now, they got to get out, and there's so much time left in this map because the brick was taken immediately that I think big question marks for me right now is who's going to extract and where. We can pull some levers and extract normally on Space City. If I'm Killzall, probably in the next 2 to 3 minutes, I might be wrapping around through Assembly and down through Eastern Suspension Bridge and maybe playing for Nightmare and maybe trying to play for that horizontal test workshop extraction. There's only 1 slot there. Killzall would love to get out of the map if he can to keep those golds for the next round.
It would make a lot of sense, especially over there. I'm not sure if Lucas and Equal decide to move and maybe look for some opportunities to get kills. For WK Forever, they are on a lever hunting journey. They want to go ahead and see if they can get all 3 players out. And once Nightmare gets wind of that, they will make a play for that extract.
Yeah, should be another fight at extract, which is nice. Nightmare kind of counting on them to pull those levers. LSS pulled in safe box. Take what loot we can get. Again, you need 2 million in loot value to give you a point. Now, that counts your stash value. So if you have kills, those are 800k per, and they go straight to your Technic Alloy. So finding, like, purple items that are 20 plus K, it's really, like, not even worth your time unless you just have free inventory space. But finding some reds is nice. And, of course, finding some of those really high-value epic rares are a nice value add, because a couple supply points could be the difference in you winning or losing.
Very true. But honestly, one of the most different space cities we've had, with the brick going so quickly, we really didn't get the action of it changing hands a ton. So leaves a lot of time for our players to make their way around the map. There you go. Hit that lever. Pull the lever, Kronk.
All right. Nightmare in a great spot to play for this extraction fight. 3v3 plus Killzall.
Ooh, prepping ready for it. You know, Lucas is like, all right, where are they coming from? Get Deathwing out towards the left, Equal forward towards Black Chamber, and Lucas is hard on the extract.
Sitting right on top of it, on bridge, Overwatch position as needed. That's great. Killzall still peeking, sniper in hand. I don't know if he's going to get much value from this position, to be honest. He's going to have to move at some point. It's also worth mentioning maybe that on this extraction point, I can't imagine this happens because of where Nightmare's set up, but this extraction point, you technically can share it. Like, a lot of times people will smoke it in the last 10 seconds and just sprint in and just try to catch the end of the extraction rather than take a big fight here. I think WK Forever are going to get pushed off of this and try to go for that, depending on how some of this goes. But Equal play is pretty extended up far from his teammates.
Open my
looking
door
to play
to
rat
clear
kill.
me.
Let's maybe listen in.
I may have to run here. It may hard clear me.
Ooh.
I think you commit to the rat.
Yeah.
Looking trying to clear me on bridge.
I think at least 2 here. I think all 3.
I don't think they saw me. I don't, but they flew the camera. The rocket flew past me.
They're out. One's out. One's out by Farmer Lucas right now.
Okay. Okay.
Do I peek yet or no?
The bus. No. Yes.
No.
Great comms, as always. I like the call here. I think Equal running right now doesn't do anything for them. If he commits to the rat and is able to, like, crouch walk down behind them and pick one up in transition here, this could be huge. DW's got bulletproof glass to like give these comms. Lucas should peek here in a second.
Definitely good shouts, and they do, but the smoke keeps them covered for just a bit longer. Still holding out on these angles, making sure they give the call outs. Lucas still perched on top. Equal and everyone kind of swarming in closer, trying to remain safe.
And they all hear Lucas above. There's actually a great play from WK Forever just to go underneath. I like this play from them. It allows them to get to a fairly safe position where Nightmare can't really pinch without a full commit of the fight. And WKF can smoke out at 10 seconds and just go for extract. And Lucas is just going to have to WWE choke slam them from the top ropes. But guess who's here? Killzall, slow creeping this way. Looking for anything he can get his hands on.
Ooh. We'll see if he's able to do it, but he's definitely filtering his way down. 2 minutes on the match timer, and curious to see who's going to be able to make it out of this extraction point. Will we have multiples? Everyone going to filter out towards the last second possible.
"35 seconds on the extraction and about a minute more on the game clock. Everybody playing for this. No recon operator for WK Forever. So what do they have to do is use Aluru's rocket as the recon. They spot, I believe, DW out in the open, or rather, it's Equal Plays, who's able to get quite a bit of damage. Here comes DW. They're going for the pinch right now. Chakra misses, but DW have gained some real estate on the map for Nightmare to play from. A great angle. Nightmare currently in a position to play extract. They're on it, and Lucas gets out, and only Lucas gets out. Pushing WK Forever off is great for them. Keeping Lucas out of the map is solid. The other two stay to go for kills.
You know the fight's about to happen. Killzall, though, spots out on Crab. A couple bullets to isolate him behind, and Util going out. Crab disengages and immediately backs off. The connection's there. Killzall, very kill hungry. He's been a solo, and SSG has nothing to show for it on this map just yet. If they get this 1 KP, the Tempest ult for the fight. A lot of expenditure, damage going out. Come on.
Yeah, there's two here, and they're going to try to pinch Killzall, thinking that maybe he's not alone, but he's isolated. But it is a solo, and Tempest ulting doesn't take him to cover. Seabots gets the kill, 13 seconds on the clock. And Equal Plays stays on the map to try to find something. Crab could actually leave here. Goes no bag out the back. Is going to try to get out, and he does in the final 3 seconds. What a clutch play, as Equal Plays does find his kill, and I believe gets credited because WK Forever sent one out at the same time. So a great play. Lucas got out. Crab got out. 2 players left, but Evil Geniuses, they may have gotten nothing else on the map, but at least they got the brick.
That's really all that matters. You just need to net yourself a double brick throughout our series. And next thing you know, you're walking away not only champions of the Delta Force Rise Series Season 1, but also $60,000 richer for your team. And plus, you get to boast about it. I mean, come on. You could be like, yeah, guys, we did it. We know how many of our teams that came in through the survival rounds that were talking about wanting to face off against Evil Geniuses and face off against Space Station. But here's the deal, guys. Those are the only 2 teams that have obtained bricks.
It's crazy. Sometimes you can win by just playing objective. I know it sounds crazy, but it's real. Everybody else going for kills, going for score, all that score is nice, but you've got to have a brick if you want to be a top 3 team, or at least it's looking that way. 2 teams with a brick, 4 without, and WK Forever again top frag. These guys showed up to play in the finals, barely make it in, but they are top fragging this lobby by a ton, and they have the most squad points by a mile. So they will be in 3rd place behind the 2 teams with a brick. If they can get a brick, even if they can't get 2, they could still win it all just on points alone.
We definitely could. So we'll have to see as we look through our top killers. We got a lot of WKF and Equal going to be rounding out the out. Now, WK Forever is also right here alongside Equal Plays, rounding out, all similarly about to breach that 500. But these are just your round 4 top assisters. Man, they are just really in the mix. No surprise their squad points are incredibly high.
Yeah, I mean, they've just been fighting a lot, and they found 5 throughout the course of the fight around the brick. They were just too late to actually get the steal because nobody reset it for them. So see some solid asset earners. C-Bots finding his way to nearly 800K, and just a great job to just sneak one player out at the very end with 3 seconds to spare through no bag. I think it was a great play for them to protect some of the loot they brought in. Crab is going to find his way to round MVP. 3 kills, 2 assists, plenty of damage, and 500,000 assets. Great job from W Key Forever. Expectations, were they high, were they low? You can decide. W Key Forever find their way to 3rd through all of those efforts. Evil Geniuses get a 2nd in a row. We called them free bricks. They weren't free. That one was a fight, but nobody got a steal. So technically, I'm calling it a free brick still. That's 2 in a row. No steals have happened in finals of Americas. Not one, Tiff. I cannot believe it. We're going to head to a very short break. When we come back, another Space City round. Who knows? Another free brick. We'll see.
The enemy got the mantle bricks. Find and stop them. Mantle bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first hit to brick up the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around comes around.
Not going to do very much, though. You get barrel stuff. Skydie is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
Let's go. There it is.
The wait is over. The battle lines are drawn. The stage is set for absolute dominance. Welcome to the road to glory. Only the elite remains to fight for the championship title. Across the Americas, hundreds fought, but only 6 teams survived. Meet the Titans who carved their path to the finals. Evil Geniuses. Dominant. Unstoppable. Evil Geniuses storm through the group stage, proving they are the apex predators of the region. Spacestation Gaming. Fearless and resilient. Spacestation Gaming fought through every obstacle, earning their direct ticket to the ultimate showdown. FaZe Clan. Battling through the high-stakes survival stage, they proved their resilience when everything was on the line. NTMR. Refusing to back down, they clawed their way out of the gauntlet and earned their spot among the elite. Team Liquid. With ice in their veins, Team Liquid delivered under pressure to secure a shot at the championship trophy. W Key Forever. Seizing their last chance at redemption, they complete the Americas roster and are ready to shock the world. 6 elite squads. Every team fights for a share of the prize pool, but only the top 3 will claim their tickets to Season 2. Who will rise to glory? Tune in live for the Americas Finals.
Welcome back, Delta Force Rise Series America's Finals. We just wrapped up our first Space City round. We've got 2 teams with a brick, and it's the 2 you may expect. Evil Geniuses in Space Station Gaming, but they did it in, frankly, a wild fashion. Not one steal has happened in the entirety of this match. Space Station Gaming and Evil Geniuses picked up 2 free bricks, or a brick apiece that were free. but neither of them have done much else. Not a lot of points between those two teams, and everybody else continuing to climb the squad points category. Look at W Key Forever, 24 total points. Evil Geniuses have 4. They have 2 kills throughout the course of the first 4 maps, and yet they find themselves in second place because they're playing the objective. Wild leaderboard here for the finals.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If you guys want to win, you're just gonna have to get a brick. It is as simple as that. I don't care if you get no kills and you get a brick. That is the objective and the way to success. And moving into round 5, the only way to stop the Titans in the lobby, the 2 that were an auto advancement from the group stage, you've got to find yourself a brick. Plenty of Tempest available. WQ Forever actually hasn't invested any of them yet. So I would imagine for rounds 5 and round 6, if we get round 6, you're going to see a Tempest at the hands of WQ Forever.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, these next 2, you will certainly see W Key Forever use a Tempest, and in round 6, they will likely be the only ones. Now, the big question mark for everybody else is, do you use it now or in the next map? Do you think there will be a next map? If Spacestation Gaming or Evil Geniuses pick up the brick in this map, we are done with the competition as it stands, and only those 2 teams will walk away with the brick. A big moment for these teams to step up, step out, and show what they have on main. We've got to move quicker. You can't rely on anybody else to do the dirty work. When you're all relying on somebody else, guess what? Nobody does anything. Let's see what happens here in round 5. As a reminder, season 2 open registration starts tomorrow. Do you want to participate? You sure do. A chance to play against the pros and be a pro yourself. Don't miss a chance to compete. Again, open registration tomorrow. Open qualifiers soon after that. You can follow Delta Force for all major updates on the Delta Force Rise series. Let's get into it. The finale of Americas. It could end right here, or it could be the beginning of the end. Let's get into it.
All right, here we go. Tier 1 spawns are going to be none other than Nightmare and FaZe. FaZe, who have really set themselves up quite nicely, but just need a brick to make it work. We're going to go ahead and open that door over by Westgate and full commit towards where the Mandel brick will be spawning. Team Liquid have already yeeted down Central Command Bridge, so expect for things to get messy. Space Station not bringing in the Tempest. They're from Dormitory, but still with Toxic and Shepard and Morse, you know they can get aggro.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. If you're Spacestation Gaming and you're Evil Geniuses, you don't have a lot of eco. You don't have great loot you can bring in. You're looking to get your money up this rep. You're not going to invest a Tempest here, so you can use it in the next round. Yes, you could win here with your Tempest, but if you miss, somebody could take your spot on the leaderboard and maybe even close it out in the next one without you being able to respond with the Tempest. So they're going to try to protect the brick and probably show up late to some of these fights. And just because you have a Tempest doesn't mean you're going to get the brick necessarily. W Key Forever investing a ton because they can certainly afford it. They're bringing in all gold, everything. W Key Forever currently situated in 3rd. Nightmare answering as well with a couple players in gold of their own. Everybody else in purple.
In terms of compositions, you're right. Everyone has the Tempest except SSG and Evil Geniuses. I do see the pretty typical comp coming out of Team Liquid. The Stinger, Luna, Tempest. Pretty much same for Nightmare as well. Now, here's the deal. This squad in particular looked really good yesterday. And when we spoke to Hodsick after, he was talking about how they just had to work through a lot of little mistakes. They brought in Precision for Survivor Match Day 2. Dude went absolutely nuclear all over the map. Same with Mendo, finding some even cool 1v2s to clutch up. But here's the deal. They haven't really been able to prove and show that they can do that here on the map. Lobby's played out pretty weird, and we're going to kick things off with FaZe. You find a knock onto Mr. Dio God, and Hodsick backs away to heal back up.
Yeah, it's a good play from Team Liquid there. They stopped the ulting FaZe member, and then they ult themselves to answer back, and they're going to push down the stairs and go for the kill. So we swing back to them, but the exact same thing happens back. Both Tempests have used their ult. Both get pushed back to where they came from. And so we're back to the classic 3v3 as Team Liquid self-revive, and Sidoka trying to punish them. Will not get there in time. Pushes up through the smoke. Is going to get there in time. Sidoka gets one, gets traded out. It's a 2v2. Can Snows and FaZe win it, or will it be Team Liquid finally? No! They get beat! The 3v3 goes to FaZe. Team Liquid can't get anything going their way, but the bullets have been fired. The action has started, and it's the signal flare for Spacestation Gaming to roll up and take out the scraps and throw the trash away. FaZe in trouble now as a solo. Spacestation Gaming taking control of Centrifuge.
And there's a reason this is a big deal. If you have 2 teams out of the 4 that don't have bricks and are in this lobby almost gone, then we go down to a 50% chance that it ends in round 5 and FaZe officially wiped alongside Team Liquid. Nightmare and WK Forever are the only 2 teams in the lobby that can bring us to one more game.
Little chalk for chalk. 2 gone. 2 that don't have a brick, 2 that do. It's all up to Nightmare and WK Forever, and the brick has stayed in its spawn the whole time. I'm liking the aggression from FaZe, but unfortunately it finally gets punished. Perfect third party from Spacestation Gaming.
Now, Nightmare, near the brick, laying low, listening for any signs of life to be shown. Spacestation rack up 2 kills on the board thanks to the third party. They're going to be ripping those dog tags up. And then we could really set our sights. Now, Nightmare is likely waiting for someone else to jump the mantle brick. And you pull up the map, you can see exactly where they've positioned themselves. Evil Geniuses, we're still up north. It's totally fine. Plenty of time on the map. No one's even touched the brick yet, so it's not even like they have cause to do anything. Sure, Nightmare, you got your Tempest ult up. You go ahead and you pull the brick. Where are we headed?
They're going to head to the east. Again, this is good news. Spacestation Gaming were able to take over Centrifuge, so Nightmare don't have a free immediate brick into a decoding station. They're going to rotate out to the east. Where are they going? I think inside a black chamber, but who's here? It's WK Forever. There's going to be a fight before the brick goes into the decoding station, which may mean Nightmare turn tail and run, which is what they're doing. They're leaving. They want a free brick. They want this brick into a decoding station, and they don't want to risk it with this engagement. So on they run, they go. For those that don't watch a lot of Delta Force, guess what? If you got the mantle brick, everybody knows where you are on the map, and everybody's rotating to cut them off. A chase is on, and we'll see who catches who, and if Nightmare can figure out where they want to put this brick.
Down the ladder we go for Space Station. They're probably going to pop out north of Buoyancy. We'll see if they commit. Are we getting the read that it's likely going to Sands out east of Central Command Building? As you pull up the map, you can already see Evil Geniuses playing like it's going towards the north. They want to wait and see. Instead, you have Nightmare that's just kind of waiting it out. Sure, they couldn't commit to Black Chamber, but test range is a great spot to just kind of anchor down. But SSG cutting off that bridge is going to be detrimental. And you have to think that Nightmare knows, given the time that they've spent waiting outside, that someone has already anticipated that move.
Yeah, I mean, Nightmare's in a really tough spot. I actually don't love... I mean, test range is a great place to hide for now. Nice little UAV. Test range is a great spot to hide for now, but it's not a good in-game spot. There's nothing here. There's nothing to do here besides find some loot, I guess. And the only way you can get intel right now is peeking and then using recon arrows. You don't have like a Raptor drone to fly around and like get the full lay of the land. You've got to basically arrow every direction you're trying to push. And that's unreliable at best. So for Nightmare, they may, knowing the way they play, they may elect to just stall out this timer and reset the brick so that they can replay the map. Not literally, but technically. Let the brick go back to spawn. Let the teams rotate back for it. And chill. Now, Lucas is getting a read on SSG rotating out, so they know that the north now is a bit free. They don't know Evil Geniuses, maybe, or at the top of the map, but SSG are rotating back into mid. I think Space Station is recognizing that Nightmare may let this go back to spawn, and they want to be able to play for it.
You kind of just have to bide your time. 2 minutes just above that for Nightmare to be able to escort it to a decoding station. Of course, dormitory is absolutely free. The journey to get there is going to be long and arduous. Horizontal Test Workshop decode, sure, great, but WK Forever is also sending 2 there to watch, and they left Peaky inside Black Chamber to make sure that doesn't happen. SSG is now guarding Centrifuge, and with the time ticking down, we are assuming that Nightmare is going to have to choose a closer decode station.
I think they stall out this brick. There's not a good option for them right now at all.
It's a great job of defense by the opposing teams. WK Forever maybe trying to catch an angle on Nightmare.
See what DW wants to do here. Be some Luna lineups to give you that info. You see the site on Crab, site on Seabots. Recheck of Black Chamber. And down towards Horizontal Test Workshop. So we know there's a team there.
Okay, they're going to make a play. They're going back into Black Chamber. Peaky's the only one here. They're going for it. They don't want to risk this stalling out and not being able to play for the brick. The decode is on. They made a play and paid off. WK Forever backed off. The brick goes down. WK Forever will be able to play for it and immediately steal it away. Disarm will come through, which will stall him out for a second. Nope, he gets it just in time. WK Forever get the steal. And the fight is on. 3.5 minutes, and it'll likely exchange hands back and forth quite often.
Well, that timer's going to keep on going down, and since the decode is official, evil geniuses know it's not coming up north. So what they do is immediately head towards the south and start their scouting. For Nightmare, they say, nah, we're getting the decode back. 3 minutes on the timer. No knocks officially. Still a 3v3, still isolated. SSG are going to be the closest team on the outskirts. Articuno from afar, still scouting, wanting to see, hey, what is our play here?
Yeah, they're just trying to get intel from Bulletproof Glass and Central Command. They can make a play if they want. They don't have to, but they'd like to have found better loot. I mean, they desperately need loot value. They have 5 points right now. And they can show up late to this fight. Knowing that it's at Black Chamber probably tells them, too, that it'll get stolen a ton, which, one, will reduce the timer, but will elongate this fight. So they may try to wrap actually all the way around the map, come through like assembly and printing all the way down Eastern Suspension and wrap through the south side, thinking maybe that they have time for that. We'll see if they do.
Interesting. I would say WK Forever's comp is slightly more aggressive. They don't have the Stinger. They have a D-Wolf instead. So with the Tempest D-Wolf focused on the aggro. But here comes Space Station. That much closer to the decode. And with just under 2 minutes, there you go. Frags galore pushing WK Forever back into the hallway. We peek. Pre-fire. Not going to net for anything.
On screen is a cat and mouse game in Spacestation Gaming. They may come hunt both the cat and the mouse here in just a second. Up from the top side. This is going to be a big fight in Black Chamber. 70 seconds. Crab just jockeying this position, hoping and praying for Nightmare to make a mistake. Nightmare stuck in the cubby.
Ooh.
Crab trying to get aggro here. Exoskeleton. He can move very quick.
Nice. You can see immediately being punished there. We are Luna arrowing down the hallway, trying to keep them stuck here into the locker room. Positions sure are exposed, but we're under a minute. And Space Station are biding their time. They want this fight to break out over the decode. Once they get wind of some potential knocks or any kind of information, I'd imagine that's when we see them try to make a play.
WK Forever bailed. They're going to allow the steal to go off. Nightmare have control of it still, and WK Forever have backed out of here.
Interesting. Kills all. In the stairway, shots go off. But you have to think, Space Station, they don't have to force anything. They already have a brick.
15 seconds. Lucas is on brick. It's got to be kills all or nobody. WK Forever bailed. They're not even playing for this. It's 5 seconds. They didn't want to die. Too easy. Going for it. He gets one. Skies gets another. He's going to stick it. Unbelievable. They just put more bodies in the alleyway and they steal it away. Space Station Gaming. Down goes Nightmare. Brick in hand. Space Station Gaming kill them all. It is a 3-team battle, and WK Forever made a big gamble. A gamble that Space Station Gaming would pull it off and stop Nightmare, and that's exactly what happened. 3 teams left on the map. 2 that will win it all right here. It is all up to WK Forever, who's currently decoding to keep this match alive.
and to wait until your Tempest ult is up before you go in and swipe it immediately after SSG wipes it. And what they do is they retreat to make sure all the armor is in place, all the health is back up. I can only imagine that Spacestation Gaming, it's a matter of a few seconds before they clear the area and walk back and start the decode yet again. Here it is, Skies on the horizon. Seizes it back, 2.5 seconds. Crab, Peaky likely looking to jump the angles if they can, but we're at the minimum decode timer, 90 seconds.
If W Key Forever die, the match will be over, and it's just a matter of who's the champion. They have to stay alive. FaZe, Team Liquid, Nightmare, all cheering on W Key Forever for maybe the first time in their lives. And Evil Geniuses are still waiting in the wings. They have finally showed up. They wrapped all the way around the map, the same path that I had just talked about, all the way down bridge, and they're going to slow walk their way into this engagement. After all the chaos and after all the dust is settled, Evil Geniuses could walk out with a win here by showing up last to the party.
They just want some action here, and honestly, you got to keep tabs on the match timer. That could really come into a factor here.
Yep.
No one could end up with the bricks. It's going to be a 1.5 minutes.
100%. 90 seconds is minimum. Every steal will reset to 90 seconds. Disarm's coming through, about 30 seconds on the clock. SSG are able to retake for free as WKF want to make sure they don't sell. You cannot scam by being out in the open for too long and losing your life here. Even just losing a single player could be the difference, but does Killzall know he's about to get shot in the back?
Don't know, but this is where $60,000 can make or break. And it's SSG with the current decode. About to be just at a minute. We knew Evil Geniuses was going to be the real deciding factor of how this was going to be down. They've got aggression, though. They have D-Wolf. They have Toxic. They can just full send. But they're going to be really quiet about his W Key Forever. Goes back and hits the decode.
I think Evil Geniuses don't want to play spoiler yet. They want these two teams to get themselves weak first. A reset here in 90 seconds on the clock. Killzall had a play. He bails on it. He's getting full sent. And they scare him off. The other two pitching around the corner. W Key Forever in a pinch. Getting obliterated. Killzall inside the cubby gets one. Skies gets the other. It's a 2v1 inside, but Evil Genius is going to reap the reward. Evil Genius is a full team of 3 about to show up in a 1v1. Grab on the run. 60 seconds on the decode timer. Evil Geniuses 3 bodies up. The other 2 teams with the solo. This is for all the marbles, folks. And patience may prevail.
Data Swarm going out. Now, here's the deal, guys. The match timer is most important. You have 10 seconds to swipe it and be flawless because it goes back up to 90 seconds, and there it is. If it changes hands at any point in time after the match timer is below 130, no one is going to be able to get the brick. So Evil Genius is the only team of 3 as it currently stands, is going to position themselves with one immediately on that decode station. Too easy. He hits the peak, hits the knock onto Articuno, takes a ton of damage, but it could open the door for the solos to get messy.
It's definitely possible, and a great call, Tiff. If this brick gets stolen, no one will get it. And so Evil Geniuses have to stick just in the hallway. A ton of util landing, Easy trying to make a play. And this could be an opening for Crab to also move in at the same time. Is it hashtag too easy that can do it? One going through, nice play. One goes down, and maybe the full will follow. 2 members of Evil Geniuses on the far side, though. Not willing to peek, not willing to scam with Too Easy shooting this straight. That's a freebie for Easy, a 1v1v2.
You still have Luna up. You can have her frags and the Volt arrows in your back pocket. But he's biding his time. That play is going to come in at the very last second. And you do still have the solo from W Key Forever.
15.
He's
10
going.
seconds. Oh, a peek over the top. Loco, what a play. It's all up to Crab. He's got to make a move, and he's got to make a move now. 5 seconds and counting. Crab's got to kill them all. And so much util is landing, he can't get through the door. He doesn't make the move. Evil Geniuses have just won with no points on the board. 2 bricks is all they needed. That's it. They've done it. Game, set, match. They are your champions of Americas.
And as you see the reactions, I don't even think they can believe it. We can't believe it. We cut to SSG. And the reaction still.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. In this format, in the double brick format, even evil geniuses can't believe they've just done it. The way these maps played was so different from survivor stages, so different from group stages. And Crab, I think explaining his position in that map, just couldn't do what he needed to do. Couldn't do what he needed to do to clutch up as a solo. And with enough util slowing him down, I believe a sonic trap on the other side. Just brutal to watch the match slip from your hands.
I can't even believe it. $60,000. The ability to call yourself the Delta Force Rise Series champions here for America. You stand above as the best team of the day, 2 kill points, a brick decoded. But this, Ghosh, is a major shift in playstyle for Articuno, Loco, and Mew Mew. Because here's the deal. This is one of the heaviest fragging teams from our group stages. Always finding kills, always opening, and just racking up numbers like crazy. But when it matters most, when the objective is the key to success, they understand that they have to slow it down. 2 kills and a brick will do it. Space Station, though, they put so much work into that round with 8 kills.
Unbelievable. If you had a brick, you're top 2. We know Space Station Gaming gets second place, folks. Space Station Gaming, not the result they wanted, but they got second place. You will see them in Season 2. They're still walking away with a ton of cash. And the rest of the results are also a given. WK Forever was so far above everybody else that they will assuredly take third place and also make it to Season 2. The top 3 stay the top 3. And I know for a fact when we get to the interview with Evil Geniuses, they're going to say, we didn't expect to win on that map. That map was a bit of a throwaway. We wanted to show up late, get some points, and figure it out from there. But if things went their way, if the map played exactly the way it played, and they could roll up in the final hour, they would win it all. Too Easy ends up being the MVP from that round just because he put up so much value for the team, and as a solo, almost clutched it up. But almost isn't good enough here in the Delta Force Rise Series. Space Station Gaming pick up second place, but a great effort from them and a great round from them. Folks, we've got one more giveaway for you just for being here. Did you enjoy the action? Whew, I hope you did. Here's your chance to earn some extra rewards. You can type in !giveaway to enter into our final giveaway for 3,000 Delta tickets. If you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, or Facebook, just type that into the chat, !giveaway to enter. You just have to do it once. I know you're going to do it more than that. If you're watching on X, you can repost the live stream. We're going to announce the winners in chat at the end of the broadcast in all of our official channels. And again, if you're watching on X, it'll be announced in the comments under the live stream. Good luck out there. Hopefully you earn your Delta tickets while we talk to our winner and analyze everything that happened as we wrap up with the final graphics of the day. I cannot believe we are done with the Delta Force Rise Series, Tiff. And did I expect Evil Geniuses to win? It was certainly well within the probable, but let's take a look at them. The Evil Geniuses, they clutched up. They're going to be your champions of the Delta Force Rise Series America's Finals. Articuno, Moo Moo, and Loco, they did it. They clutched up when it mattered most, and like you said, Tiff, they did it in a totally different fashion than they usually do. No fragging today, all mantle bricks.
Sometimes you just got to be flexible and adapt to the scenarios as they come, and they did just that in a 5-round series here for the finals. They had their sights set on the top, and they had already advanced on through the group stages. They locked it in. They got to sit back on Friday and Saturday and watch how the survival stage was going down. They knew the pace was going to shift significantly, and they came in with a playbook ready to make it happen.
Unbelievable job from Evil Geniuses. Again, the champions of the Delta Force Rise Series. But of course, the other thing we're playing for is top 3. Space Station Gaming do pick up second place because they found themselves a brick, a free one, at the very beginning of this match. And then, of course, our third place will go to our squad points team. WK Forever finding like 30 some odd points throughout the course of this, well above everybody else. What a way to wrap Match MVP goes to Loco. He had the best stats of the team. 3 kills, solid assist there, 800 something damage, 3.3 mil. We're used to Loco having like 20 kills, but instead, just 3 is all it takes when you show up last to the party, but just in the nick of time. Unreal. Congratulations to Loco. He's been a top player. I would give him MVP of the entire series, the Delta Force Rise series, front to back. He's top of all of the individual charts. But this leaderboard is diabolical. 4 total kills in 5 maps, 3 supply points, 7 total squad points, the lowest in the lobby, but 2 bricks for Evil Geniuses. And this does confirm WK Forever are moving on to Season 2.
Yeah, with the most kills right there, 17 on the day. When we started today, we're talking about our teams as we're stepping into it. I'm like, yeah, Evil Geniuses, how many match days have we seen them get about 31 kills? They've done it back to back. They're crazy. When it comes to fighting, you're going to see that. We play 5 games. We're averaging less than 1 kill a game. It doesn't matter though, because they got the bricks. Like
it's all objective. It's all about playing the objective, and that's the thing about this format. You can do what you want through the group stages. You can do what you want in the survivor stages to get top 2. Today was all about winning, and Evil Geniuses were able to clutch it up. Crazy moment looking back on it. Never thought this would be the final leaderboard, but I did expect to see Evil Geniuses and Spacestation Gaming near, if not at the top. And funny enough, our leaderboard, at least through the first 2, stays the same as group stages. These are the top 2 teams in group stages, and they remain the top 2 teams. But WK Forever surprised a few folks. They passed Team Liquid. They passed Nightmare. They passed FaZe Clan. They got the last spot into the finals, and they find their way to 3rd. A bunch of money and a spot in Season 2. Really cool stuff here to wrap things up.
I just think it's because they were willing to take fights where everyone was playing just a little more cautiously. If you're playing the objective and you're kind of anchoring down, and WK Forever is just, I would say, inting a bit, I'd have to imagine that's the difference maker.
All right, folks, we gotta talk to Evil Geniuses. Let me confirm my suspicions. Let's bring in the champions, the goats of the Delta Force Rise series. We got all 3 of them in the house. Come on, gentlemen. Congratulations on the win. Loco, I'm going to you first. Let's go down the line. Loco, Articuno, Mumu, congrats, guys. How does it feel to be the champions? How does it feel to do it in a crazy way, frankly, getting the win with 2 bricks and basically nothing else?
I mean, it feels amazing, but that is not how we planned for it to go. But, you know, we got insanely lucky and just played the format. It's just so silly that that's allowed.
The way the map played, man. It's the way the map played. Articuno, I mean, same question to you. How does it feel? You're the champions, guys. You did it. Like, this is it.
I mean, I'm shaking. Like, I hope you guys go back and listen to our comms, like, afterwards. I want to relive that feeling, like, every single day. Like, that was insane. But, like, obviously, we never... I mean, we've been through this before where we just kind of, we call it going through hell, where like we don't have money and stuff like that and we play bad. I don't know, it's just the way the finals always plays out. We kind of suck at adapting to it, if I had to be honest. But, you know, we kind of planned for this, especially after last round. Like we knew our spawns going into game 4. We knew exactly what we needed to do, and obviously we got our first brick, and we knew our chances of getting the second one too, especially depending on our spawn. But obviously we got really lucky with the fact that it was 2 solos left and we just picked the right time.
Yeah. Perfect time. Mumu, gonna ask you the same question, bro. Your face was the best, by the way, at the very end, because you were just in shock. What was that feeling like?
It feels good, to be honest. I would say the same as Articuno. Like, we didn't have any points, so we knew exactly how we needed to double brick, and we did it. And it feels good. That's it.
Awesome.
Heck
awesome.
Yeah. Look, I love it, guys. Congratulations on being the Delta Force Rise Series America's champs. You ended it in 5, same like EMEA earlier today. But Articuno, this one's going to go for you. You guys are dead broke. You know you got to double brick it out. And talk me through the moment when you guys realize on map 5, because you guys are up at Central Command, it's not coming up there for the decode. It starts changing hands a lot, and you guys work your way down very cautiously. Are you thinking that even without the resources, like this is possible?
Obviously we know like we're more than capable of retaking any brick. It's the context into it. Last round I went into the round with a 50k revolver with the cheater scope is what they call it. Only a cheater scope on it, and that's how we got last round's brick, because we knew SSG was the team across from us on Centrifuge, and we know how they like to play, especially when they're retaking mid, and also the way the situation worked out. But actually, when we were before we even got into Centrifuge or CCB last round, I cheater scoped too easy going onto Centrifuge bridge, or the main bridge. So we knew they're rotating. We knew who had brick as well, because I'd also cheater scoped the team top test, which is WK, or not WKF, it was Nightmare. So we kind of mapped it out. We knew who initially placed it. Obviously, it was Nightmare, and we knew that it couldn't have been SSG. Obviously, the SSG is the only immediate threat to us in terms of losing. So we knew their rotation. Essentially, we knew they'd be there really late, and we would essentially have to just be later than them. And actually, when we were rotating in, when we finally got off the bridge, I cheater scoped them again. I caught Killzall in the front, and I calmed to my teammates, yo, that's Killzall. Like, we should honestly probably shoot him. And then we took a really good timing. Killzall died, and there was 4 bodies on the ground and just 2 solos. Like, it was literally picture perfect. There couldn't have been anything better.
Yeah, I love that breakdown. And again, that scope you're talking about is the rangefinder scope that can also tell you who the player is on the opposite side, just to be clear for everybody else out there. Not
He's like, chat,
cheating.
guys, it's not cheating. Guys, it's the rangefinder. Like, please.
I'm not cheating. I'm not cheating.
It's a great spot. It is something we talked about with Farmer Lucas as well. It is a key to success for teams, because if you don't know the teams that are playing around the brick, it totally changes your strategy. The fact that you had intel allowed you to be last and allowed you to win. So great shout, and thank you for the walkthrough and the breakdown. Loco, back to you. I want you to talk me through the overall season, though, because the way you finished is maybe what you expected, but throughout the course of the Delta Force Rise Series group stages, you guys top fragged by, I'm actually going to pull the data up, you top fragged by 35 kills over anybody else. And the closest to you was Team Liquid. Everybody else was another 15 below that. So you almost top fragged by like 50 over everybody else. You guys were really aggressive. Talk to me about the group stages and why you were so successful, you think.
Regarding the group stages, I mean, we're so confident, like mechanically as players, where we know that we can take fights against like nearly anybody and win. And that kind of we played with confidence through it all, and it worked out for us. I mean, plus there was some games where, not to be rude, but there's some like very some teams who don't belong, and we kind of abused that and got some free kills from it.
Fair enough.
All right. Interesting. Okay. Well, we know that season 2 is on the horizon, guys. We're going to be calling out teams in the future. We got open quals coming through, but you guys are already locked in for season 2. I'll give it to Mew Mew or Articuno. You can answer if you want. What are some of the goals that you guys have as a team moving forward to kind of cement the beginning of maybe a dynasty here in the Delta Force Rise series?
Go ahead, Moo. You got it.
Our goal is to be the best. That's it.
I like it.
I'll elaborate.
It's an efficient.
I'll elaborate. Obviously, our goal is, like, going into this, especially when we were pitching ourselves to orgs and stuff like that, like, we were trying to prove that we're definitely contenders. And obviously throughout the group stage, it wasn't perfect, but towards the very end, we like really turned the ship around. We really showed that we could definitely be the best, or if not the best. Obviously, we didn't show that all that much today, but, you know, we know how to play this format similar to SSG, and I think that's why SSG also got their brick. We know how to play the format. We know how to abuse the fact that these other teams kind of lack in that aspect. They can get all the kills they want. They can go for third, go for whatever, but at the end of the day, it is about the format. And going into the future, obviously, it's not necessarily a dynasty thing. Our goal is just to make it to LAN. At least for me, I want to take these boys to LAN. I know we'll make it far, so that's my goal personally. And as a team, I hope it's the same for them.
I love it. Thank you all for the answers. Thanks for giving us some insight into your play style and what makes you the best team here, because you certainly are. Guys, can we just bring this back up? You just won $20,000 a piece, 60 grand as a team. big congratulations. You played the format better and therefore are the champions. Final thoughts from all of you. Anything you want to say to fans out there, to org, to the haters? I don't care. I want to give you all a moment. Any final words for the broadcast? We can start with Loco and go down the line. It can be short and sweet. It can be as long as you want. This is your moment.
I'd like to say that I really appreciate EG for giving us like the opportunity. As I said before, they put a lot of confidence in us, and I appreciate them. And I mean, people like Grimmy, who have always supported us as players and just been a good friend of mine, and Zomo as well, just always looking out for us and looking for our best interest. That's all I want to say.
Cheers. Articuno?
Obviously, I want to start off by saying thank you to my teammates. Honestly, that's the most important thing. Honestly, without them, I wouldn't be here. I had a lot of doubt about myself, and a lot of people doubted me, especially going into the season, or getting back into pro play, especially after Invitational. I didn't play to my own standards, and then kind of knocked my stock down as an individual. So they kind of brought me back up. Now I'm back on the map, and I want to say thank you to EG as well. Obviously, without them, we wouldn't be here. Like they have a beautiful brand, and we are luckily ambassadors of it now. We get to show it off. And then thank you for my family. Thank you for all my friends as well. I see them all in chat and stuff like that. Like, I really do appreciate you guys at the end of the day. I really do.
Amazing. And Mumu, any final thoughts?
I would like to shout out all the fans from EG, and I would like to thank my teammate for having my back.
Cheers. All right, that's Evil Geniuses. Congrats, guys. 60 grand you just won. Go celebrate. I love you all. You certainly earned it, and we will see you out there in season 2. GG's.
GG's.
Goodbye.
Sorry we weren't the best today. We weren't our typical selves, but we will see you in season 2.
You won.
Thank you.
I don't care.
Mean, you got the money.
Hey, we'll take a dub. We'll take a dub.
It is what it is.
I love it. I love it. Great team. They've got a lot of chemistry together, obviously, and it paid off. They played the objective well, and they won. They may not have done it to their standards. Doesn't matter. They were the top team today, and I love the vibe from all three of those guys. Been casting over them for a very long time, Tiff. So a big win from them. And here we can see the final, the end of the bracket, and, of course, Evil Geniuses as the champion. What a finish.
Bro, sorry we didn't win in such a dominating fashion. It's like, hello, look at your prize. 60K for Evil Geniuses Space Station. That second place is going to net them 30K. W Key Forever, your last team to auto advance to Season 2, will walk home with 15K and 10,000 apiece for FaZe, Team Liquid, and Nightmare. Now, you have to wonder, Team Liquid, bro, they were going through it today. Nightmare as well. They were trying to move the brick, get it down first. You heard Evil Geniuses based off the rangefinder scope and predicting the future. Articuno is like, here's the fact, here's our strats, and now we look at all of our player rankings that everything is finalized.
Yeah, Equal Plays finds his way to the top damage. Hotsick finds his way to top assists at the end of the day, so Team Liquid a bad day, but Hotsick overall a great performance, and Killzall does keep his spot as the top asset gainer throughout the course of all of the matches that were played. What a fun finish to a wild season. Season 1 is officially wrapped. Both regions done. We have our champions. Evil Geniuses here in Americas, Dark Entities down in EMEA. Season 1 wrapped, and 3 teams from each region have moved on to Season 2 already. Everybody else gonna have to work their way back through qualifiers, work their way back into Season 2, and we'll see how many of them arrive at the finish line. I cannot believe we are finally done. 5 weeks of competition. Tiff, you and I casted a bunch of those. How does it feel to be done? Any final thoughts for the broadcast?
I don't even know how we're actually done with Season 1 over here at the Delta Force Rise series, but it has happened. So much action, and this weekend was so fun. Between the Survivor stages, days 1, days 2, we finally get to crown some champions, and honestly, I just can't wait to see how the future unfolds. So congratulations to every single person who was out there, whether you were cheering on your favorite teams or you the players grinding out through the 5 weeks of competition. It's only the beginning, y'all.
Well, I want to give a big thank you to all the teams, like Tiff said, all 24 of them between both regions that competed. All 24 did walk away with some prizing, plus that dynamic kill bonus. So I'm sure they were excited that they got to participate, and we hope you do too in Season 2. I want to give a big thank you to production for making this all possible, and of course, a giant thank you to Delta Force for bringing us a pro scene. Delta Force Rise series is just getting started. Season 1 is wrapped, but Season 2 right around the corner, which will compete and complete this year. It all happens at the end of this year. Get ready for it. It's going to be so much fun. And as a final reminder, we couldn't do it without you, the viewers. So thank you for being here, and we'll see you in Season 2.